Get ready for 2 hours of hard-hitting football talk, straight from their jocks about the jocks. It's Football on the Know with Jim and Joe.
All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Football on the Know. I'm Jim McPhee, and alongside me is Mr. Joe DeCapita.
What's going on, Noodles? Welcome back for another edition of Football on the Know Show. Locked and loaded, ready to go. Let's get into this.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We are live here from Nanola. Right now, it's a little gentle right here. People chilling, have some dinner. It's really great out here, everybody being out here tonight. But big football game tonight. We've got the Rams and the Seahawks. We're looking forward to it. It's going to be on the big screen right behind us in just a little bit. Yep. Make sure you guys like the video. If you haven't yet, go to YouTube, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, become a know-it-all out there and get notified whenever we go live. But that's right, we are live from Nanola right now. And Joe, right now, the big news in the last couple days was the Jaylon Smith getting released, and then also Stephon Gilmore, the news about him being released comes out, and it's funny because then a day later you're hearing that a trade happened, and it's kind of funny because you're like,
exactly. It was like officially announced, and then all of a sudden, only minutes later, another post comes out, another addition to the advertisements there for him being released is that then he gets traded all of a sudden. New England then just kind of, in a stealthy move by the Carolina Panthers, they end up calling it must have been like last second right before they officially sent the paperwork in, and boom, there you have it. My man Stephon Gilmore is headed to the Carolina Panthers for only a 2023 sixth-round pick. That is absolutely amazing of a steal in terms of value. Trade value, I mean, but here's the thing: as Patriots were put up against the wall, they were willing to take anything for him. And I mean, if they could get something for him, they were going to do it. And then last second, Carolina comes in. They were able to give up that 2023 sixth-round pick, and Stephon Gilmore is now a Panther and in much need. Panthers were in much need of corner help because J.C. Horn, the rookie corner, goes down. Dante Jackson is now kind of banged up, and they were looking for someone to fill those shoes. And what a perfect addition this is in Stephon Gilmore.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, too, like you said, Carolina, J.C. Horn's down, but they just made the trade for C.J. Henderson. And now they have him there as well.
They're going to need him.
Like it's just great because they're just stacked now, and that defense was good in the overall already. Right. But now that they get better after this first loss of their season now, and they have him, a veteran, back there to play for them when he's completely healthy. I mean, that is great for them, the Panthers, moving forward, and make a run for this division, which seems like it's still Tampa Bay is not really.
Tampa Bay
running away with it right now. I mean, they still look a little rough, despite being, only have one loss, I think, overall so far this season. Yeah. Some of those games were even pretty close. I mean, look at that Atlanta Falcons game. I mean, the Falcons kind of took it to them for a little bit until, Tampa Bay was able to move out and regain that game. But
and that's the thing, though.
They really had to fight for these.
Tampa is going through a little bit of a, injury bug right now, especially defensively. They lost their starting corner in week 1, and then all of a sudden last week, sounds like their other starting corner, and James Dean, he's going to be out for some time. And it's like all of a sudden all these injuries are starting to mount up, not just for Tampa, but for everybody. And it's like it's still early in the season. We're not even halfway through this season, and already teams are losing and missing out on starting caliber players. So that's why you're tending to see some of these trades being made. And to go back to the Jaylon Smith release, for Jaylon Smith to just be flat out released by the Cowboys, and this was kind of a financial move that they made. They didn't want to pay him his future money. Like it sounded like he was going to be paid upwards to like $9+ million for next season. They didn't want to pay that kind of money. And listen, you and me both know, we said it on the show before, that Cowboys are eventually going to come face to face with their financial issues because they're shelling out all these big contracts to Dak Prescott, to Ezekiel Elliott, to Amari Cooper. Now here it comes. Now it's time to pay the piper. And what did they have to do? They decided they got to move on from him now, save some money. I believe they saved like a few million just from releasing him. But now they are without a great, and I mean a really great middle linebacker, that they once had, now is gone. And just to be released for him, for Jaylon Smith personally, this is amazing for him because now he gets to pick and choose where he wanted to go. There was no shortage of teams that were interested. But here, and lo and behold, he decides to go with Green Bay. He feels like Green Bay can get right back in this thing and maybe make a playoff push. So total confidence in Green Bay Packers. Green Bay Packers themselves as an organization, they add someone that they are in much need right now, this middle linebacker position. So kudos to Green Bay. Jaylon Smith, you made your decision, and now let's see how it all plays out.
All right, I want to say a shout-out to Paul. Matty's in the house with us tonight.
What's going on,
He's
Paul?
in the house with us. There he is.
Yeah, we got a few. We got Zach Dooley, who's checking in.
All
Zach
right.
Walker's checking in. Mike Tackett is also watching. Thank you guys
Mike
for all the
Tackett's in
support.
house. Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, let me get back to Stephon Gilmore real quick with that whole thing. And we heard with them that, they were looking to find trades for him all the time, here and there, and it wasn't going to work out. And it was before the season started. But it's just kind of funny now. Since then, it's been under the carpet here, and then finally they come out where they're going to release him. And then the last minute, the trade comes in. The Panthers bring it up, and they finally did find a trade partner.
A suitor,
And like you said, about having it be a sixth-rounder, it's funny. You knew kind of you weren't going to get that much for him.
No, they were going to.
Again, you knew they already kind of wanted to move on.
They were just willing to take whatever that was offered.
I think a sixth-round pick is just a wash for them. I think it's a win for the Panthers, and the Patriots kind of just get rid of them just to get rid of them like they wanted to.
Right, but yeah, exactly. If you think about it, like, listen, they weren't going to get anything in return. They were They were about to flat out release him, and now a team calls in like the Panthers, and they managed to say, "Hey, we're going to offer you a 2023 sixth-round pick, and why not? Okay, boom, sold. We'll trade you him. We'll trade you his contract, and then they get at least something. It's not much, but at least it's something in return."
Absolutely. And then bringing up the fact about Jaylon Smith here, again, I think there were some rumblings that they possibly would move on to him, because we talked about this when they gave him the deal. When the whole thing, when Dak Prescott was trying to hold out here and there, or his contract was up, they were still in negotiations, and like they're like, oh, we gotta pay Dak Prescott. He's got to get paid. You would hear all over the radio again, this is what needs to be done. He's your franchise quarterback. But the Cowboys are trying to play it like, like they do. You have the salary cap. They're trying to almost do it like there's a luxury tax too as well, like the way much like the Yankees do. And you find out that Jaylon Smith gets paid first. He's one of the first ones to get paid. And yes, he was performing well when he first started with the team. And he was also that guy that got drafted and fell to the Cowboys. He slid a little bit because, again, that injury.
That knee injury that he was coming back from.
Absolutely.
It was decimating.
And so far, I think for them, he's played pretty well for them.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But, again, it's that money deal. Zeke got paid after he did, and then, Dak, that whole thing that happened with them, and they had to try and work out a deal for him. But now it was going to come around for him.
Yep.
And the thing is, what happened to them, what was nice for them in this particular draft, that Micah Parsons was there for them to fall kind of to them and grab him, and the way he's performing for them, that I think they felt like they could get away with moving on from him, despite Leighton Vander Esch being an injury-prone type of linebacker as well.
Yeah, that's the issue too. Now that they've decided to move on from Jaylon Smith, now they are missing. Now they have a hole at linebacker. Okay, yeah, you could say, oh yeah, but we still have Leighton Vander Esch, but Leighton Vander Esch has been heavily injured. Hasn't been the healthiest player on the team. So you got to worry about that, because now you could possibly be maybe in 2 weeks from now, maybe 4 weeks from now, Leighton Vander Esch goes down with an injury once again and is done for the year. Now you're down 2 linebackers on that defense that was once really weak last season. And you forward it again. You bring up Micah Parsons. Well, Micah Parsons isn't that true every down linebacker. He so far is more successful as a defensive end, where he recently got moved to, with DeMarcus Lawrence being out for some time. So because of all that, I think that it's going to hurt the Cowboys' defense going forward. It's got to. Listen, you're missing out on the captain, the guy that was calling the defense, the guy that was making the checks and bounces at the line. Now you don't have him anymore. Now that playbook's got to be handed over to someone. It sounds like it's going to be Leighton Vander Esch. But now, how long is Leighton Vander Esch going to be on that football field for him to take over this defense? So I think this is a tricky situation for the Cowboys. I know they wanted to unload his salary, and going forward, they definitely didn't want to pay next year's salary. But at the very least, now it's not looking too well, in the near future for this Cowboys defense. I feel like this is going to hurt them, and it's going to show up on Sundays.
Again, it's that tried and true run stopper that he's kind of been. You see a couple of the plays here that we have here for the highlights. He's made some good plays also on the passing end. Like here, there, boom, there's the strip fumble there, but then he picks it up and takes it a yard. But then also some of the tip passes here, boom, and there it is there, still making some plays. But again, when he's out there, we knew this was going to happen. They had the negotiations where he had an injury clause going on. Mm-hmm. So, and he was guaranteed $9.5 million next year. So he wouldn't budge on that. So then they said, "This is it. Hasta la vista. Here we go." And they'll just take the hit.
I mean, I think he deserves it for sure. That money. I mean, he's a really good linebacker, and he's still young. Like it's not like it's not even like he's 30 years old yet.
Yeah. If they even go long-term with DeMarcus Lawrence, I don't know if he had an injury clause on his contract, but I mean, for him, for first part, early on, he was pretty injured, and we were looking for that show-me year that he would perform, and then he got the deal.
Exactly.
And I think he's injured now, so, I mean, there ends up being being problems here. So, I mean, and that's the thing they're probably going to face next season moving on or moving on in the future with things, with their pass rushers and stuff. But you know what? Despite it all, I think so far, like we were wondering how Dan Quinn was going to handle this defense, seeing how he was with the Atlanta Falcons here, head coach. He's a defensive-minded coach and stuff, and they started to get worse and worse every season. And then the fact that he would bring even KZ in over here too, and some other former Atlanta Falcons. When that starts to happen, I'm almost afraid sometimes. Yes, you want to get people that are familiar with the scheme and things like that, and get everybody to buy into your defensive system. Right. But and we said even when Micah Parsons got drafted by the Cowboys, we weren't sure if it was going to mix what defensive scheme they were doing. But they're able to, with even injuries, move him outside, inside. Now he's up on the line a lot, and almost
he is a defensive end right now.
So right in there, yeah.
He got moved to D end.
Yeah. So they're able to utilize him that way, but I'm really surprised even at what Dan Quinn has been able to do for this defense.
I think some of this isn't so much Dan Quinn, and it's more of the talent that's on the Cowboys. Because when you look at some of the talent like Trayvon Diggs at corner and Micah Parsons at defensive end and DeMarcus Lawrence when he was there at the other end spot, like I feel like going forward, as long as they don't try to change too much up and they don't lose too much in terms of their personnel, I just think that they have a nice foundation right now to build off of to become one of those better defenses in this in the NFL. So, listen, your cornerstones right now are Trayvon Diggs and Micah Parsons. As long as you keep Parsons at defensive end, I think he'll continue to excel. I think as soon as you make that move and if you put him back at linebacker, I feel like he's not going to be that every down linebacker that they were hoping to be. He's not that great in coverage. He struggles with the coverage part, but he's a great run stopper. He's a great tackler. He's a great pass rusher. And I feel like the best place for him right now is to stay at defensive end. As long as the Cowboys do that and Dan Quinn makes sure that stays the same, I feel like this defense has got some nice building blocks that can continue and get better down the road.
All right, we got Mike Tackett in the house with us
What's
tonight.
going on, Mike?
My man.
That's right. He says, happy game day, fellas. From a business end, we get a Pro Bowl linebacker that Dallas has to pay most of his remaining deal to.
Yep.
And someone to whom I feel will provide an immediate boost to our linebacker core.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's saying as because, again, he's a Packers fan, if you guys don't know that out there so far. He's a Packers fan. So he's got to be excited. And that's the one thing I wanted to get to in a second here. I also wanted to say hi to Jim Radley.
What's going on, Jimmy?
My man.
That's with us tonight, too. He says, what's up, guys? Sorry I couldn't make it today. That's fine.
That's right.
We are here live in Malta. We have a bunch of people filling in right now. There's some guys over here said hi. But that's one of the other things. And that's almost where the Packers robbed us, I think, of this, Joe. I think shows like us and then also, on radio, television, they're salivating at this. They're like, wow, all right, Jaylon Smith out there, like, where are the landing spots? And then seriously, like the next day or within hours, it was like, hey, the Packers, it's her, the Packers are going to grab him. You're like, what?
Yeah, it sounds like he's going to get signed already.
Yeah, and you were already salivating, getting ready, licking your chops. You're like, I don't know. And we're
everybody was hoping he would land on their team.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
The teams that you follow, you were like, he can
Come
work
on,
for us.
come on.
So
Let's bring him in.
Mike Tackett, and that's where he's on board here with, again, the Pro Bowl linebacker, and he can work for him, especially with the way Zadarius Smith has been injured. And it's kind of funny now, too. It seems like you have to be last name Smith to be a linebacker
To
for
be
the
part
Packers.
of the linebacking core of Green Bay.
Preston Smith,
Yes.
Zadarius Smith, so now you've got
It's
Jaylon
a prerequisite
Smith.
for sure.
Yeah, so there you go. They add another one to the law firm, so Smith, Smith, and Smith. And exactly, you get a Pro Bowl linebacker there at that middle spot. Plenty of teams are looking for it. I'm a
Super
Giants fan.
solid.
I was looking for it maybe to help replace Blake Martinez with the sad injury that he has had for them, and it helps stop, run stopping in the gap and others, so he can stop and play in coverage as well.
And not to mention, Jaylon Smith is not just a middle linebacker. He can be moved, too. Like, if you manage to get a potential, a guy that could supersede him at middle linebacker, you could kick him out to the outside, and he can be just as effective. I mean, so he's very versatile. So I just saw that Cody Raptor just chimes in. He goes, "Hi, guys. Hi, Cody. Hi out there." Cody's here in the building. He's right over there enjoying some drinks, some food.
He's going to get the DJ horn anyways.
But, yeah, I mean, hey, listen, we're at this great place called Nanola here in Malta. Come on down. Say hi. Listen, we're here until 6 to 8, right?
8 o'clock. Yeah,
6
that's
to 8.
it.
Come down, say hi. Enjoy some great food, some great drink specials. Great place to be.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's going on in the NFL. Let's touch a little bit on week 4. Week 4, we got to see a couple of, 3-0 teams go down.
Yep.
And so now there's only, one more remaining? Is that the Arizona Cardinals?
yeah.
The last one, so
Yep.
everybody fell. And now you've got the Cardinals remaining there at 3-0. But a lot of big matchups between the 3-0 teams. Someone I was surprised about, and the Raiders game. That was an exciting game to watch there on Monday night. But let's talk a little bit about the Belichick-Brady thing, I think, too. I think if it would not do us justice if we didn't do it, so we'll just do it. We have a different take than a lot of other media guys. Like I said, they talk it up through the whole thing. We didn't talk it up at all last week. We thought that game should maybe be even swapped out for one of the other games for Sunday night. But it ended up being a good game. And we
really
talked
good game.
about how close it would be because Belichick knows Brady. I mean, hell, they played for each other for like 20 years and stuff. So you're going to know what gets at him. And what's amazing still is that Belichick and his, Joe Dirt, like, son or something like that with the mullet and stuff.
Oh,
And
my
I thought,
God.
what the hell happened to him? Is he from... What is that? Is that from incest or something? That's some weird stuff right there.
I don't know about that.
I don't know.
mean,
but
it's
he's
just-
strange. But if he knows defense, whatever, keep him out there. But
he knows.
But that's the
he
thing.
knows his stuff.
They were throwing things at Tom Brady that were even surprising him in his all that he's been here for 20 years. Like I said, all playing. So they were disguising a lot of things, faking zero, and then going into coverage and things like that. So. Ended up being a really tight game. The defense was holding them out there, and the Patriots were really giving it to them. So where Tom Brady felt a little flustered out there, Joe.
I mean, that's the thing is what I expected too. Is that's why I kind of went with New England in that game. I thought for sure Belichick was going to have a great game plan against them, and has studied Tampa Bay long enough with Tom Brady being there that he was going to figure out a great game plan against him, a great game plan against the team, and. Just all it came down to is execution, and New England is always up for a challenge. So even with a rookie quarterback in Mac Jones, who I think is just perfect for them, like we both feel the same way about that he's going to be the franchise quarterback going forward, no doubt about it. And you saw it Sunday night. If there was any indicator, you saw it Sunday night on just how well he played. Yeah, of course there was a couple of missed throws or something like that, but who doesn't have that? And for them to be close all the way down to the game, and actually, New England did deserve to win that game. They brought it right down there, and if it wasn't for Mac Jones, made one slight mistake in not getting the ball over the defensive line, that would have been a first down, and they would have had a little bit more time to get a little bit closer to kick that field goal at the end to make it. But instead, didn't make that play happen, so they ended up having to try to kick or make a long attempt, and it just didn't work out. Wide to the left or just barely to the left and missed out.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny, too, how, again, the legend rises. I was talking about this earlier with some people about the Tom Brady-Belichick rivalry or legend that grows with Tom Brady. I said plenty of times I appreciate his play. I think I would like him as a person, hanging out with him, and I don't dislike him. I dislike the media, the way they have depicted him and the narrative that goes through. Because despite everything that happened in that game, despite him being flustered out here and there, and yes, he did happen to use his legs a little bit to get a first down, but you saw the desperation in him that he needed to get it that time.
Right.
The fact that they say, Belichick, Brady won, boom, chalk one up for Brady, he wins this one, and Belichick, again, maybe is not that great of a coach, that maybe a lot of it was all on Tom Brady being there for the Patriots' success, and I think that's just a totally different scenario that you don't really need to paint. There's two different teams against each other, a team that knows the other quarterback very well, and it ended up being a really great matchup, and to where a Super Bowl team that now when you look at it, maybe they just have to be opportunistic last season when the offensive line was that injured and battered for the Kansas City Chiefs, or else we wouldn't be talking about them being Super Bowl champions.
Very true.
And being almost like a favorite this season.
It definitely could have been different.
Absolutely. So I think for the narrative to be, Belichick and Brady, Brady takes
Brady's
his one.
king.
Now he's won he beat every team now. Like, oh, holy shit,
And he broke the all-time passing record, which you only need 68 yards, but that was easy.
Well, that's easy when you play forever, too, as well. You know what I'm saying? It's like one of those records, like the longevity. Yes, I understand you get to play as long, and if you do play long, that's great. That's the great thing. But, I mean, you're eventually going to break some of those records because you are good, but then you played so long. Look at LeBron. LeBron James joined the NBA fairly early, and then that's why he's breaking some of these other points, records and things like that stuff, because he's been in there so long. So you see stuff like that.
Well, we got a couple of guys chiming in right here. We got Shaquille Nazir.
Ooh,
welcome to the show.
Shaq in the house
Thanks
tonight.
for the support. We also got he just commented. He goes, "Woo, football." We also got Dave Peary. Appreciate you. Welcome to the show. It's a great commentary and love the energy.
We bring the energy, even though we
right.
don't have our energy drinks here.
No, we don't have any Rays on us.
Yeah, we didn't want to bring the Rays with us because, again, we're in another establishment here with these guys here. Yeah, all right. Crowd's getting amped up. But Rays Energy, if you guys haven't yet, go to repsports.com, hit the promo code here, raise them up, and you can get 50% off your order just through us here, Football on the No Show. So definitely check that out. Also, I want to take some time to thank our sponsors here, Joe.
Okay.
Well, Paul Perry Kitchens down there at 144 Freeman's Bridge Road, now also on 115 Freeman's Ridge Road. That's right. They have two buildings right there. That's because not only do they do custom kitchens and cabinets from the best of Homecrest, Woodmode, and many others, but now they're getting into closets and glass doors for your shower and stuff like that.
Man.
So if you're getting a custom closet done, like I said, my wife has always dreamed about a custom walk-in closet and things like that. And she knows that, I know those people too as well. So she's like, hey, give me hold on, but they do it. They do it well, too. If you need them to take care of it, they'll take care of you. The custom kitchen designers, go in there, talk to somebody. My man, Chris Boulant, he'll help to take care of you as well. Get it done. Paul Perry Kitchens, where your only limitation is our imagination. That's right. On 144 Freeman's Bridge Road.
Smooth delivery right
That's
there.
right.
I like it.
Yeah. So, a lot of things going on in the NFL, Joe. Last week, again, the Raiders game. What did you think about that Raiders game, you being a Raiders fan, and how that developed?
I mean, I really, to be honest, I think John Gruden had a poor game plan going into that game. I mean, they just allowed, and I would say even Gus Bradley too. I don't think he did enough early on. They tried to stop the run. They tried to stop the pass with Justin Herbert, but things weren't clicking. And I feel like nothing really changed until after halftime, when they started to make some adjustments. They started to add more pressures to Justin Herbert, and that's where he kind of struggled. He couldn't handle the pressure when we were sending it, and then, but you waited too long. Like all first half, there really wasn't much of a change in terms of game plan, offensively and defensively. And then it's like after halftime, they flipped the switch on him, like, oh no, now we're going to do some of this and do some of that, and then it was more effective against the Chargers. But here's the thing: is when you also have guys that like Alex Leatherwood on the right tackle spot. When you, as a rookie, he's going to struggle, especially against one of the premier pass rushers in this league, guy like Joey Bosa. You got to give him help. You know what I mean? There's adjustments like that going through the course of that game that they could have made earlier and made a difference to where like that could have been a lot closer game sooner, early on, and maybe the outcome would have been different. But I feel like it was a lack of adjustments early on, And by the time they did start to get close, they were within one touchdown, and they couldn't close the gap right there. And then after that, the Chargers started to turn some. They made their own adjustments, and then they started to attack and score points that way. So by the Raiders becoming one-dimensional throughout that game, not even being able to run the football because of their lack of offensive line prowess. They need to do something with the guards. They're missing 2 starting guards still. They haven't really noticed much of a change in terms of adding or even pulling off a trade or something like we've seen other teams do. And then during that game, throughout it, the injury bug just all of a sudden showed its face. They lost both their starting corners. They still don't have either one of their starting linebackers in rotation yet. So I feel like with the injuries that mounted in that game and the adjustments and poor game planning going into that matchup, it just didn't favor the Raiders really well, and they ended up coming out on the losing end.
Yeah, I mean, and early on, it seemed like they were just getting stuffed everywhere they possibly could on offense. Couldn't get really going. They weren't able to get Darren Waller really going as well, early on too, and he's a big piece of their offense. But it seemed like, too, the Chargers were really controlling the pace of that game. They were amped up going into the halftime, also with that big stop. But then something happened over to halftime again. Maybe made adjustments, come back in. They got back into the game. Looked like the Raiders were possibly going to come back out of this one. But again, I think the Chargers really settled down and came back, and then were able to finish the Raiders off in that one. But
flat out, Gruden and Gus Bradley were out-coached in that game. That's really what it came down to. So they made some adjustments and they came back, but then the Chargers and their coaching staff, they're like, oh, well, they changed this and that. We got to make some changes. So they did, and then they ended up scoring more points and stopping the Raiders, offensive drives and late in the second half, and then that was it. It was a wrap. So, again, I feel like the Raiders sometimes, their coaching staff, they get too complacent and they get too careful with whatever they want to do in their play calls, that actually holds back the players that they have available to them to play. I mean, I hope that next week they come with a more aggressive attitude and really attack the defense, and likewise with the defense going against whoever they have to play offensively.
Yeah, most definitely. Any other games out there last week that kind of stuck out to you? I mean, I think the Cardinals game, especially, I thought I wasn't sure about the Cardinals-Rams. I was really high on the Rams as well. I think they're still good. They're going to be playing tonight in a little bit. But that one was a toss-up for me. And, I went with the Rams, but again, I thought these teams might
it could have went either way for sure.
Yeah, these teams could split one because I just went with the home team as well, and I thought maybe they would take it at home, and then you go back to Arizona, and Arizona would take it at home here too. But it just seemed like right out of the gate, too, the Rams were not comfortable, and the Cardinals really took it to them. I mean, they really showed and flexed their muscle, and I think, unfortunately for some people, that was kind of a coming out party for the Cardinals, and people actually got to see them and what they have done to numerous teams, but to see them do it to the Rams, to where people were excited about Matthew Stafford being there, how he's been playing. I think he's got 117 QBR rating right now, which is like 4th or 3rd, I think, in the league. MVP status they're looking at right now for him as well. But they were super excited about what's going on in Los Angeles. But I think even for that game, he kind of tried to force the ball to Cooper Kupp so much, who has been really also kind of been really explosive for that team. You've seen Cooper Kupp be good for this team before, but you've also noticed this season in particular that he's healthy. He's a healthy guy, but then also a main target of Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, I mean, that game was going to be the one to watch. You know what I mean? Everybody wanted to point their fingers at Buccaneers and Patriots, which it was a great game. But I felt like I was super excited to see what the Buccaneers and Rams could do against each other. And I kind of went the other way. I went with Arizona, and it literally could have went either way. But I just felt like with the Cardinals roster, I liked what they have in terms of personnel and their defense and how much better they're playing this year. To go up with match that up with their offense that they got, very explosive offense. I felt like in the end the Cardinals were going to edge out the Rams, and they really did. They outplayed the Rams, and that's why you ended up seeing them get the dub.
All right, Joe. We also have one of our great sponsors here promoting something very special for everybody out there.
Yes.
Why don't you tell everybody about what Johnstone Supply in Troy is doing for everybody?
Yeah, so Johnstone Supply in Troy, New York, and Godzilla Media kind of linked up, and they're doing like what they like to call Pink Month. It's going to be their first annual bus trip to go to the UAlbany versus Maine game. And all proceeds for the trip will be donated to the American Cancer Society. But it's to help raise money for charity for cancer, to help battle cancer, because why not? Fuck cancer. And yeah, you could just go up. You can go on to GodzillaMedia.com. That's where you can go to the site for GodzillaMedia.com. Johnstone Supply in Troy, New York. Also, they are here to help you guys out too in the Northeast. I mean, if you're getting cold, you're home, anything to do with your furnace, if it breaks down, or if you need filters replaced or any kind of maintenance whatsoever, Johnstone Supply in Troy, New York. That's on 6th Avenue in Troy, New York. Go ahead and hit them up. A little bit extra to know about what this bus trip entails. You make your donation for the ticket. And you get on we all meet out at Johnstone Supply, hop up on the bus. We all get to ride out to Maine, enjoy a great game with UAlbany, and root on our boys at UAlbany. Going to be an awesome time.
Yeah, I just checked it out. It looks a lot of fun out there also. So, yeah, that's something exciting for those guys. Johnstone Supply, we want to thank them so very much.
Absolutely.
All right, next we have a segment I made this season. We just started up with, and I like to call
love this segment.
This is fun because again, I get to look at these guys, and I'm never positive about anything or anybody
out
either,
every week.
I do, and so I have to go and I find my missing player, the milk carton missing player of the week. That's right. This is for all you guys there, you missing players and guys that aren't showing up for your teams. All those guys that don't show up for our fantasy team.
They just disappear.
I can't stand you guys, even though if you're injured, I don't care. I don't care if you get injured. You're there to play. But we had a couple interesting. Aaron Rodgers was one of them. Jameis Winston was one of them or so. This one's not a quarterback this year or this week. I have for my missing milk carton player of the week here, and it is none other than Dalvin Cook here. That's right. Dalvin Cook is my missing player. And yes, he got banged up a little bit, 2 weeks ago, I think, or so. But again, a guy who really, again, has been almost, a stud for a running back here for a lot of people, and starting to show signs. I think in week 2, he even had 131 yards and 2 receptions as well. And really starting to take off well this season. But then last particular game, only 34 yards. He's not really chalking up much for them. So he really did not show up for them in a game that really needed to be taken care of. There was going to be a close matchup for them. I think they really needed to really give it to the team and show how powerful they are in that particular division with the Green Bay Packers that are there. And now the Bears with Justin Fields, like maybe they could possibly turn some things around.
Yeah, and part of that game, you saw Minnesota, they were behind the whole game. Mm-hmm. So, and there was a time when they were down by a couple of scores where they needed to just flat out negate the run altogether, and that actually went hand in hand with the reason why he kind of disappeared last week. They just went away from the running game so much, and they just went pass heavy like crazy, trying to catch up, trying to get back into the game, trying to even try to attempt to tie the game. But I'll tell you right now, Cleveland Browns defense played a miraculous game against them, and they just kind of locked it down. Did not prevent Minnesota Vikings to do pretty much anything, and it showed throughout that game. So, it's sad that Dalvin Cook, even if you're a fantasy football owner out there, you are completely devastated with him having nilch, basically nothing in terms of fantasy points. But nonetheless, it's okay. That's only 1 week. Maybe he comes back strong this week.
That's right. So there you go. That's my milk cart player of the week, Dalvin Cook. We'll see what happens this particular week. But I want to take a time, too, also to say hello to our other sponsors that we have here. We have a lot this year. We've been working really good with all these guys. But my man, Link over there, Colorize, the paint professionals here.
Yes. That's
right. Colorize locally owned and operated Benjamin Moore dealership with locations in Clifton Park, Niskayuna, and Queensbury. Yes, they focus on the outstanding products of Benjamin Moore, but as an independent dealer, they also have access to almost everything and every kind of paint and finish related to all that. So serving everyone from the professional to the do-it-yourselfer out there. That's right. You regular people out there that have some projects to do at home. Ladies out there, you got projects that your husband to do. He ain't getting out there. Hey, Colorize. They're in 3 different locations. Clifton Park. Hey, we're by there. Go there. Colorize. They're eager to help you, and they are capable of making your next project go a lot smoother. Colorize. The right paint, color, and advice from local professionals who care. That's right, Joe. So
excellent.
We are going to
so I can get any shade I want there.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's what you're saying. Okay.
And a lot. Some of the industrial stuff, but then also latex. They don't just focus on Benjamin Bohr products. They do Sherwin-Williams and others like that as well.
All right, excellent.
But we're going to have a guest join us in a little bit, but he's not here right yet, Joe.
Real quick, we just had one of our know-it-alls chime in, Shaqi Nazir. I hope I'm not butchering your name.
Why don't you just call him Shaq?
He just commented. He goes, I don't know anything about football, but I like throwing the ball. Really? All right. Well, if you don't know anything about football, stay locked into Football on the Know. We were helping you walk your way right down to Football Knowledge USA.
Yeah. Yeah, we are. We like to give knowledge, but we also like to, take it as well. Mike Tackett, one of our know-it-alls out there, he's told us a bunch of different things out there that we didn't know.
Yeah,
before,
even behind-the-scenes stories or something that he's witnessed or been involved with or knows somebody in the NFL circles. So it's been really cool to hear some of the stories that he was willing to tell us.
Absolutely. So let's get down to even tonight's game in a little bit. Let's talk about what we're going to be looking at tonight with the Rams and the Seahawks here. That's right, it's Thursday Night Football. We're here live in Nanola. You can catch the show on YouTube and Facebook. We're on Twitch right now, and many others.
Anywhere you can get your
podcasts right now.
Any format you get your podcast, make sure you follow us, like, share, all the above. Listen, we really appreciate all the support. We've had actually some overwhelming support from a lot of people that just kind of jumped on the bandwagon just recently. These past couple of weeks, it's been a wild ride, but it's still continuing, so keep it coming, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. So, again, Seattle Seahawks, that was a close game for me to pick last week. I wasn't sure what we were going to get, but despite everything, Russell Wilson has still been playing out like a beast again. Right now, I talked about Matthew Stafford having the third best QBR, I think, in the league right now. Russell Wilson has the best. He is number one right now, and he's at 129.9, I think it is. And he's just throwing dimes out there. And also his yards per attempt is, I think it's 9.6 or 9.3 or so, highest in the league as well. So he's getting some stuff done. And it's been a lot of that to some big plays by Tyler Lockett there, too.
Yeah, I mean, here's the other thing, too, is about this Seattle offense is starting to get better as the season went on. They struggled early on. It seemed like they really weren't hitting on all cylinders. And here's my thing, too, to Pete Carroll, to the organization of Seattle. Help Russell Wilson out. I mean, that was the biggest thing this past offseason where Russell Wilson was absolutely frustrated with the organization to the point where, he was even thought of being willing to be traded. He wanted out of Seattle. Get me out of here. These guys are not helping me win championships. They're not helping me make this team better. And I need a better offensive line. His weapons are really great. They're fantastic. Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf have been lighting it up. But get him some more weapons. Get him another really good, legitimate tight end. We know that they just added Gerald Everett from the Rams coming over, and he's kind of a nice little receiving tight end, but he's not dynamic. He's not going to change the game for you. So they really need to concentrate on this offensive line this upcoming offseason. That's where they got to definitely just pay it. You just lock in. Just lock in that offensive line. Improve and upgrade that offensive line. And as well as you need to start bringing in a little bit more of a youth movement on that defensive side of the ball. Because guys aren't getting any younger like Bobby Wagner. He's still, obviously they re-signed him to a 3-year deal this past offseason, but he's not getting any younger. So eventually he's going to need to be replaced, and much like some of these other veterans that they have. So Seattle, I implore you, please help Russell Wilson and the rest of this team out. Definitely get this offensive line upgraded, and then you'll definitely see a Seattle team, a championship caliber team, push for this division and push into the playoffs and further and beyond. So I think that's my one biggest thing for them is they're still not there yet. As relevant as they have been they're still not back to that championship winning ways just yet because they have too many holes at offensive line still and on the defensive side of that football.
Yeah, and you talk about the defensive side of the football. That defense, I don't know exactly. I think they might be – I don't think they're worse, but I think they're near the end. They have given up 444 yards on defense every per game or average. So averaging 444 per game this particular season. So that's pretty bad. So when now you look at you're facing Matthew Stafford and this Los Angeles Rams offense with the weapons that they have, that can be pretty scary on the other end. Yes, Russell Wilson's doing what he can. The offensive line is holding up well for them too, because he's used to becoming a tackle dummy.
Absolutely, back in Detroit.
He's the 40-plus guy.
Yep.
That's the way I look at Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
Yes, he can be elusive and get out and make plays, and is always in the running for a MVP of the league. But he's also getting hit a lot, sacked a lot, 40-plus almost every consecutive year. And he's able to get out and make some plays for that team. But the one thing I noticed here too, with this offensive line, is this season they haven't been called with holding yet this particular season. They are the only team in the league that has not been called for holding yet.
That's because Russell Wilson's running for his life.
Well, usually sometimes when he runs with his wife and he goes in different directions, that's when they do hold because they don't know where he's going.
No, they're just letting him go.
Yeah, but, that could be a problem now because who are you facing on the interior? You've got Aaron Donald right there who's going to pressure you and is going to have you beaten at times. And now we might see finally in this particular game one of those holding calls called and possibly maybe more. But like you said, with the personnel that they have on the interior of that line, can they hold up to Aaron Donald? I'm not sure, because, again, he's still a beast no matter what, whether you double team him or not.
He's an animal.
And you've seen some of the guys disappear on the defense here, but this team has really stayed really well on defense.
Yeah, quick shout-out I want to do to Roberto Silva. Thank you, guys. Thank you for watching. Really appreciate it. Hey, feel free, comment down below. Let us know what you guys think about tonight's game. Who do you think is going to win? You think it's going to be the Rams? You think it's going to be Seahawks? Yeah, this is a great game. I was excited for this game because finally, the NFL kind of got it right. You know what I mean? In terms of matchups, like this is a rivalry game. This is a interdivision game. Usually these games are close, they're tight, they're down the wire, they're exciting. Maybe we even get to overtime, but this should be a really good game. And then when you talk about the Rams, you talk about Matt Stafford, that's kind of like what I wanted to dive into is like he was also a tackling dummy in Detroit. Before he got traded. Now he got traded to a much better team, a more complete team. Really good offensive line play up in front of him. He's got a plethora of running backs that he can hand the ball off to and stellar wideouts on the outside. So, I mean, when you bring up guys like Cooper Kupp, who's been just amazing this season, has been really kind of lighting the league up on fire here. You got Cooper Kupp. You got Robert Woods, a great veteran for them. Definitely delivers, catches everything, runs phenomenal routes. And then you got guys like Deshaun Jackson, which is kind of amazing, where he's kind of coming into more of a rotational role for them. A guy that they can bring in once in a while to kind of push the defense deep down the football field and maybe get a deep bomb out of him as well. I really like what I see from the Rams offensively, and defensively they've kind of surprised me. This season, I had thought that they might have lost a little bit too much in terms of guys like John Johnson III, the All-Pro safety. He leaves LA, and now he has a career with the Cleveland Browns right now, and they were missing out on pieces too, like Michael Brockers, who ends up getting traded to Detroit. And it seemed like maybe there was a little bit changing of a guard here for the Rams defense, and maybe they might struggle a little bit, or maybe they might falter just a tiny bit to where their defense wasn't going to be able to help out the offense. But I'm pleasantly surprised what I've seen so far. Some young guys step up, and they're playing phenomenally well, and they're solid, and they're right where they need to be. So defensively, the Rams are pretty solid, and then offensively, we already know how explosive they can get.
And you want to talk about one also positive thing about the Seahawks is they like to run as well, and unfortunately Chris Carson here with that neck injury, it looks like he did not practice, so he's probably not going to play in this game for them. So that could be a little bit of a factor for them. So it looks like, again, it's going to be the Russell Wilson show and have it all on his shoulders. But let's take a look at DK Metcalf here, too, on the other end. You see Jalen Ramsey is going to be paired up against him. And, yes, he has him in height.
It's going to be an awesome matchup.
Yeah, it's going to be an excellent matchup. But when you think about it, it's also, there's the highlights here of the game right now popping up over there. And by the way, we're live in Nanola here. There's a good crowd out here having some dinner and hanging out. We're going to be watching football in a little bit. But DK Metcalf, he's got the strength. He's got the height on him. But in previous matchups, Jalen Ramsey has got the best of him. He's been able to shut him down and hold him down on this. So we're looking at that matchup again tonight. How's it going to be? Is he going to be able to hold him down again? But on the other end, Tyler Lockett has been the guy that's been getting open. And you want to talk about when I said yards per attempt on average and stuff, you saw it was because I think of some of those things happen where Tyler Lockett ends up being wide open in a zone and stuff, and they're a big bomb. So that makes those stats, I think, look a bit more padded. Not so much like, oh, he's just throwing, chunk yards. He's getting some of those bigger, beefier ones here on some of those coverages out there to where he has to throw a crap ton to get them back into this because their defense really hasn't been that good again, just allowing so many yards and then the scoring back on this one. So expect this game to get pretty high scoring, I'd say, on this one. You're going to see a lot of yards. You're going to see big numbers out of these two guys, and I think that's going to be big for the NFL. You see these two guys right now they've got to look at both of them as this conversation for the MVP right now, the way they're both playing. You got the QBR going. They're limited interceptions to touchdowns. The scoring, big teams. We were expecting the Rams to make that next step forward with Sean McVay in there in that new beautiful stadium out there, and Russell Wilson, who's been just getting it done despite having some of the same guys, but then even less now, and begging to be traded or get a better offensive line there. But see these two guys duke it out, and you're going to see it all air purpose yards like crazy this tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's going to be that crazy. I mean, with these two teams, they know each other so well and everything that it's not like both teams have a weak defense. So I feel like this is going to be kind of like a close game. I don't feel like it's going to be a very high scoring game. And if it is, it's going to be one way or the other. It's going to be whoever figures out whoever's defense and be able to attack it. So like we all know, the Rams offense, they don't just have one or two receivers. They got like 3, 4. I mean, they also got a kid by the name of Van Jefferson in his second year. He's like the fourth string receiver, but he's playing like a number 2 out there. So it's going to be really hard, I feel like, for Seattle's defense to contend with all these different options for Matt Stafford. And that could play a problem. I mean, this could go one-sided a little bit, like towards the Rams' way, if it all works out for them offensively. But I don't know. I just feel like there's some holes on this Seattle defense to where that they're going to get exposed. And it's going to be up to Russell Wilson to try to match that point total, whatever it is, every single drive. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be like he's going to either have to, like, match touchdown to touchdown or match field goal to field goal somehow. He's going to have to do something to keep Seattle relevant and keep them in the game. And I feel bad for a guy like Russell Wilson because it's like everything is always on his shoulders every single week. And it's like until Seattle kind of gets up and they try to like improve this team even better personnel wise, I feel like it's always going to be on his shoulders all the time. Listen, Russell Wilson is great, but he's only one dude. It's just like Tom Brady. Tom Brady is great, but he's only one dude. This is a team sport. It's the ultimate team sport. And if you might have a great quarterback, but if you don't have a great surrounding cast or a good enough surrounding cast, you're not going to get too many wins that way. So I feel like, Russell Wilson, when this team does improve and upgrade, I feel like they're going to be a lot more dangerous than what we're just seeing just from Russell Wilson.
Yeah. We'll see. We got a great matchup here lined up for tonight. We're going to get to our picks in just a little bit. But another segment that we brought back we haven't had in a while, it's Joe's Decapitation of the Week. Here it is. What do we have here now, Joe, for your decapitation of
So
the
the decapitation of the week this week. It was interesting this past week. A lot of hits were being made, but I gave it to the wide receiver. That's right, Hunter Renfrow for the Raiders. Wide receiver. That's what I said. I mean, this guy, he used to play defensive back in college, so he's no stranger to hitting people. And I was I was surprised on the hit that he did. Look at this thing, bam! Knocks the ball loose, jars the. I believe it was the running back Larry Roundtree at the time, and. Good God. I mean, for a guy who hasn't been practicing as a defensive back to be a wide receiver and to deliver a hit like this, jarring this football loose, oh, my God. You got to give it to the guy. So, wide receiver Hunter Renfrow gets the decapitation of the week, and why not? I mean, it was truly amazing. A lot of the other hits, some of them were good. They weren't spectacular. They were kind of like, guys going, head over heels and some hits that were kind of like just like they weren't devastating. They didn't like really they didn't reach the level of decapitation is what I guess I'm saying. So congratulations.
And even though he
Hunter.
didn't get like hit in the head, and that's the thing that's some of the things you do actually take out of this whole thing. You're not going to use those helmet to helmet hits where you're actually getting decapitated.
But
it was a solid hit. When you hear it pop, you hear that pop, you just know it.
Like 2 weeks ago, I believe it was 2 weeks ago, Devontae Adams got hit helmet to helmet, or was it last week? I can't remember. I think it was 2 weeks ago. And he was just knocked out cold on the field. Like, that's not something that we want to promote, guys getting injured and not being able to move.
Mm-hmm.
So like helmet to helmets, anybody can make a helmet to helmet hit and make it look impactful. But when you drive your shoulders straight through that guy's soul and take it, that's what we want to see.
And that's the thing, too. You saw it, and that's on a fake punt. I mean, you look at that whole play. That's on a fake punt. He's expecting to receive, and he noticed it right away where you saw him start to come up on it.
He came up. He saw it. Because nobody was in coverage on that side.
And the funny thing, not only is Hunter Renfrow just a guy that is kind of underlooked as a receiver altogether, I think some people are starting to take note now with that China route that he runs here. Him and Cooper Kupp are kind of now, kind of going back and forth with on when they did a joint practice. Yep. He did this thing this whole new route with them. Cooper Kupp saw it and it's like, we got to add that to the whole roster here in the plays. Now he's had his own rendition of it.
Yeah, they might as well just call it the Renfrow route.
Yeah,
at this point,
route,
because
absolutely.
he's the one that's
doing it,
killing
and it's
it out
successful
there.
even every time.
The football term for that route is a China route.
Yeah,
actually, and I don't know. I don't think anybody runs it better than him.
No, absolutely. And then when you look at what he's done. Underlooked as a receiver, but then as that defensive player right there, he squared his shoulders up, head up, and made the tackle. Why can't some of the guys that actually play defense? I mean, like I said, it's sad. I'm a Giants fan, and I get to watch. I have to watch these defenders constantly whiff at some of these guys trying to make a tackle, and then lower the shoulder to blast them.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. A lot of them, when they miss, they're only leading with their shoulder. They're not even trying to wrap anybody up, and that's where you go wrong. Mm-hmm. Like, why would you do that? Because at the very least, what's going to end up happening is the guy's just going to bounce off of you and continue running down the football field. You got to wrap up. You got to make sure you get that tackle. Stop trying to go for the big hits with your shoulder, leading with your shoulder. It's just absolutely ridiculous.
All right, we've got breaking news, Joe. That's right, from our on the street reporter with Adam Schefter, and Mike Tackett right there with it. He's got the breaking news always with us here. He says Adam Schefter is reporting Seahawks running back Chris Carson is out for tonight's game against the Rams due to a neck injury. And then we just talked about that.
Yeah, we definitely
Aaron
did.
Donald will stop whomever they plug in at running back.
And it sounds like that's gonna be Alex Collins, a young running back that they've been brought up through the ranks for Seattle, and looks the part, man. I mean, Alex Collins looks like he could be a beast, given some development. I think he's going to be rushed in a little bit too early, but and against it sucks. I mean, you're going to be put into the starting lineup right now, and you're going up against a guy like Aaron Donald, who you're going to have to try to make miss or something like that. And to be honest, Seattle's offensive line is not prepared for Aaron Donald. They might even have to triple block this guy. He's that much of a difference maker. So, Alex Collins, it's congratulations on getting the starting nod tonight. But, however, good luck.
Yeah, good luck. I'll see you at your funeral. It's tough. But thank you, Mike Tackett, with that. Yeah, see, there you go. Always on the know. Always got the information out there.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And all accolades go to our know-it-alls right out there. You know what I mean? See, they keep us in the loop, too. Sometimes when we're in the middle of our show, we don't we can't go and look at the news that's popping up. So thanks a lot, Mike, for that little input.
Absolutely. We are here live in Nanola in Malta, New York. As you can see, it kind of looks kind of funny back here because, it's a whole Louisiana type of style. I know anybody out there, have gone to Mardi Gras and stuff. It's all that traditional Creole type of food out there. It's amazing. They have beignets here, which I wanted to try again, but I'm on a low-sugar diet right now, so I might have to avoid them.
You might have to skip it for
I know, I
one
might
night.
have to skip. Maybe I get my cheat
You're not
night
here
tonight.
that
I'm not sure.
often.
Yes. I know, I'm
Go
not here
for
that
it.
often. I think I'm going to
Come
go
on,
for it.
just
But
go for
definitely,
it.
if you were out roundabout in the Albany area with us here, come on down, check it out. They have great food. It's a lot of fun. The game's going to be on the big screen behind us tonight, so check it out. I want to take a chance here to also say thanks to our sponsors out there as well with Mohawk Honda. That's right, the robust pre-owned inventory and the KBB ICO. You want to know what that is, Joe?
I want to know what that is.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you about it. Well, the
Sounds
current supply and
confusing.
demand challenges within the auto industry makes this a perfect time for you to get top dollar for your vehicle. Right now at Mohawk Honda, you can take advantage of the Kelly Blue Book Instant Cash Offer. Say that 10 times fast.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
the KBB ICO. That's right.
I see you.
Yeah, you see me, I see you. Maybe I'll see you guys at Mohawk Honda. That's right, because you got the KBB ICO. They will put cash in your hand for your vehicle the same day that you come in. Even if you don't buy from them, it's fine. They'll give you the cash right there. Walk out with it. And right now they're giving you great value for your vehicle out there because the market is low and they need vehicles out there. So maybe they need yours out there. That's a pretty sweet deal, especially for all you recent college grads out there, students in need of a new ride out there. You're rolling around with that
100%.
junker. Go down to Mohawk Honda. They'll take care of you. They are consistently kept their lot fully stocked, hundreds of pre-owned vehicles. Their large inventory makes shopping fun as you browse through many, many makes and models through. It's not just Hondas. They have all types of models there.
Yeah, you drive by there for work, don't you?
I do. I drive by there all the time, and I get to
the
see
lot's
that
still
inventory.
full, though, right?
Yeah, absolutely still full. And actually down the road in Malta, I drove by Mohawk Chevrolet. They have another dealership here, and that lot's full.
That's a lot full, too. Wow.
I'll talk. They don't pay us right now, so I'm not going to talk about them. I'm talking about Mohawk Honda. You can also check out their full selection online, too, as well. So stop in, say hi to Greg Johnson, the assistant general manager, Jake Hot Sauce Doyle, and Lewis, the VIP man, Morales, or one of the many other helpful sales consultants out there at Mohawk Honda. There's a vast selection of Mohawk certified pre-owned vehicles, so now is the time. Take advantage of the Kelly Blue Book Instant Cash Offer. Say that 10 times fast. Mohawk Honda, Glenville, where they go out of their way to please you, Joe. That's right.
Great job, buddy. Great job.
Absolutely. So, I hope you guys are enjoying the show so far. We're live here in Nanola.
Definitely.
Sorry for everybody out there that's listening to us on podcast. You don't get to experience the video here that's with us, but if you are currently listening to us while we're live right now,
you like what you hear?
yeah, come on out. Or
Drop
even
a
you hear it.
follow.
We are also on YouTube and Facebook. Joe, why don't you give the address for all that?
All right, so we're talking about YouTube and Facebook. We're on there. You can search us up at Football on the Nose Show. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bells for when we go live, as well as become a member on Facebook. Football on the Nose Show. That's where you can search us up on. We're also on Twitter. If you like any tidbits on any kind of news that happens, or even behind the scenes type of news, you can follow us on Twitter at FB_no. And reach out to us. Also, everybody, wherever you get your podcasts, you can follow us. If you like what you hear, if you love football and you love to talk football, go ahead and give us a follow. Like, share, do it all, guys. Thank you.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at the crowd cam. We have a crowd cam out here right now.
There it is.
It's a little, quite
little
up in here
light,
front.
but you know what?
I think people are afraid to be close to us. That's why these tables are here close to us, but everybody's on the outskirts.
It's awfully hard to get close to the sun. That's all I'm saying. So,
it is.
To be honest, though, it is only about 7:05 or so. Right now, the teams for Thursday Night Football are doing warm-ups. So maybe some of our fans and some of the people that are still home, maybe they're doing some warm-ups to come here to be able to check out this awesome Thursday Night Football game.
Absolutely. So, come on out, check it out. Again, we're going to have our buddy Stephen Murray join us in a little bit. He's going to show up in a little bit. He is the voiceover for Knockout City, an EA Originals game.
Yes,
if you guys haven't
absolutely.
played that, go play it now. Everybody loves dodgeball. This is extreme dodgeball. And right now they have like a basketball, basket brawl. Season 4, I think it is now going on, Joe. It's crazy when
Might
you
have to get into
eliminate your guy, they instantly turn into a ball and into that entrapped ball right there. The one that you can throw in the casement. And you have to throw it to a ring, and that's how you guys get points or something like that on it. It's totally different. They've done superheroes. They've done everything else with this game, but check it out. It's free on Game Pass and a bunch of others out there.
Excellent.
And support our man Stephen Murray. Also a shout out to Down Monday and our man John from Down Monday, who also lets us use their music all the time. So shout out to him. But let's look at our picks competition, Joe. The picks competition's getting fierce.
It's getting tight.
Again, already.
It's getting a little tight.
It's still tight. I was able to. We broke even this week.
We did?
We broke even.
I thought I lost the game or something.
Right? No, unless I did the math wrong. I'll gladly take another game, but
I'm not giving you anything.
It was close, dude. Even we had different picks. We had 4 or 5 different picks or something. 4 different picks. 4 different picks, and we end up splitting again. So there we go. You've got the lead by 3, 42-22, and I'm 39-25, but there's a long season to go.
Yeah.
I've won the last 3 seasons, but they've been tight every time.
Yeah.
This one could be your year, and you guys don't see it here, but for our regular show where we are in the studio, we have a football-sized glass here, or cup. We have to drink. The loser at the end of the season has to drink that full football full of liquor right there of your choice. Joe's had to do it, and he's stuck to it, and he's done well and finished him during the show. It's pretty amazing stuff.
Well, it's amazing, but I was completely obliterated after the show ended. I really was.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and that's when we have a lot of fun. I poke fun a little bit, but then maybe
I feel like maybe we should do like an overtime segment.
Yeah.
How drunk is this person?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
Answer this football question.
Yeah. I'll give you the controls of the things, and you can do the voices to mess around with me and stuff. That'd be fun. But I think that's what a lot of people want to see too, is see me drunk out here, because a lot of people don't get to see me drunk or buzzed a little bit out there. So when you do,
however, the show might not
happens.
run at all if that's the case.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, that's happened a couple times too. When I used to DJ, I'm like, I didn't DJ anymore.
I mean, I've only done the show and ran the show by myself once.
Mm-hmm. I think it was twice, but you did well.
I did. No, I thought I did once. No.
I don't know.
It was interesting to say the least.
All right. Here we go. Whoa. Hey, all right. We got a technical problem with the comment section.
Yeah, Facebook.
And let us know here that this guy is Zach Walker in the house with us tonight. His things are not coming through, but now it just it came through now. Now it doubled up a few times.
Yep.
So he says here Chris Carson is doubtful for this game. So
we also have a quick shout out right now. Sorry to cut you off, but quick shout out right now.
No, you do it all the time.
Justina McLaughlin is checking out the show.
Oh, Christina's in the house.
Welcome aboard.
All right.
Or Justina. Sorry, Justina.
Oh, Justina. Oh, you totally got her name wrong too, man.
Sorry about that.
Oh, Jesus. All
I
right.
apologize.
All right, well, Justina's
Cody just chimed in too. He says Zach's comments weren't.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He was let us know that the comments were working.
He's not drunk. I don't believe you.
Oh,
how about that?
Oh, okay.
Prove it. He's sober.
Well, everybody is drinking here probably. There you go. There's drinking some beers right now. Another buddy showed up right there too. He's in the house with us tonight.
Look at him.
Shout out to everybody out there.
There they are.
Guys,
they're all over there. Look at that. No,
any noise over there? Hi.
I don't think they're alive.
No,
they're stuffing their faces with food and shit. Yeah, Cody said hi, but
he said hi, but then it's also they're listening to
he's
it
only
on the
loud
show
in the
on their phone, so there's probably even a delay. So whatever I'm saying now is going to happen 5 minutes later. So he's going to hear it 5 minutes later. So it's funny as hell. All right, so anyways,
Excellent.
All right, so there's the picks competition. And if you guys have comments about anything we talked about, people that are watching here too as well, we talked about Jaylon Smith. What do you think about that situation with the Cowboys? Yep. Are they going to suffer for that, or are they doing – obviously it's well for them because they can also unload that contract off of them and be done and then move on, or what do they got to do? But now you also got to look at Dexter Lawrence moving forward and other things. See, and they did give Dak Prescott that deal. Mm-hmm. And then the Patriots. I mean, we talked about them moving on from Gilmore and that they wanted to get rid of him. Actually, he wasn't doing much of an impact for the team going forward now as well. But you see now them moving forward and turning the page to try and get a little younger now with that team. You've seen a team that really stuck together with a lot of their same personnel for a long time. Mm-hmm. Gronk is gone. Julian Edelman retired. He's gone. Brady's gone. And now they've tried to, the N'Keal Harry thing hasn't worked out for them. They tried to get these other wide receivers in there, but now they also grabbed Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry this year. And really, even you're seeing a lot of Jonnu Smith getting, some of those big, heavy workloads for that team.
Yeah, and you look at the financial situation with the New England Patriots. They knew they had to get back to relevancy. You know what I mean? So this past offseason, they not only did the most unlikely thing or uncharacteristic thing that they do is they spend a lot of money this free agency. They went out and they grabbed, players that were going to be big time for them, like Jaylon Smith at tight end, Hunter Henry at tight end, and they also go out and they grab a couple of receivers, Keandrick Bourne from the 49ers, and also Nelson Aguilar, who was formerly with the Raiders for one season. So they managed to bring in some weapons there. Their offensive line is stout as hell anyway. They were already had one of the best offensive lines, so really didn't have to do anything. They ended up getting Mac Jones in the draft. They were desperate for a quarterback this upcoming season because Cam Newton last season just couldn't run the same offense that they like to do. He was more of a running style type of quarterback, and it showed. They had to actually skew that offense to fit Cam, and that's not the Patriot way. So they end up and luckily they end up getting Mac Jones, at their spot and slid right down to them. And man, it's almost going to be. I figure like 10 years down the road, this could be like a movie one day of how everything just came together for the Patriots, and maybe they make some more runs at the championship a little bit down the road. But nonetheless,
we've seen this happen with it. I mean, again, I'm sorry. I keep thinking about the commentary and how they narrate this game. Mm-hmm. Mac Jones, if they come in and the Patriots win that game, I think maybe the Brady thing and Belichick thing still kind of happens in a sense like, oh, Belichick got him here, but they're going to instantly turn to say, look at Mac Jones, look at the young kid, blah, 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 here he goes. And you got to commend him, though.
And he
played well.
He deserves it.
He stood into a lot of those situations.
The whole Belichick Tom Brady thing, I think that's just being made up more by the media. Like, they're just trying to keep this thing going because it's some gas in the tank that they can talk about, every single week or keep this kind of like, streak going for them. But they need to just let it die. I mean, listen, they faced each other, Belichick versus Brady. They had the whole big shebang, the game against each other and everything. Okay, we're done now, right? Let's just move on now. We're done with that, and let's just move on. Listen, it's Belichick's New England Patriots. It's Tom Brady's Tampa Bay Buccaneers, whatever you want to call it. But it's over. So let's move on. Now let's just play football.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, that was another good game. Despite we were saying maybe they should be flexed out, but I missed a comment down here. We had Godzilla Media that we were actually going live from right now.
Yes.
Our guy, Tom Gozlowski here, who runs Godzilla Media, he's in the house with us tonight.
Oh, boy.
I just gave him the Godzilla roar. He says even Gator Bites. He said good. Looking good. Gator Bites, that's right, guys. Gator Bites. If you don't know that, if you don't know Nanola,
you gotta try them. If you've never had them, you gotta try them here.
They have alligator tail, deep fried alligator tail bites there. They are amazing, and it doesn't taste like chicken. It's like an in between. It's kind of chicken, but also a little chewy.
It's like me, it's almost like if you were to combine chicken and fish.
Yeah,
that's kind of like what I would best describe it as.
It is. Yeah, so I think if you
haven't had it, you have to try it. Don't say ew. Don't say no. I don't want. No, at least try it.
If you come here, you got to try it. Then again, have that, and then finish off with the beignets afterwards.
There you go.
So, yeah,
get some beignets.
So there we go. We're going to get to the picks competition in just a little bit. Our buddy Steve Murray had showed up in here.
Oh,
and
we have a Steve Murray sighting.
Absolutely. There he is, chilling.
Look at him.
You wanna come on and hang out? All right, here we go. Oh, he's going to come join us.
He's making his way up, everybody.
Here, make some space a little bit. Here you want to sit back here, right here?
Then our boy, Stephen Murray.
Here, let me get you something.
The voiceover guy.
Put that on yourself. There you go.
Our compadre. He does our intros and outros, does a phenomenal job.
He's going...
class act, professional. He's amazing.
Yep. He's going incognito right now because he's famous and everything, so he's trying to go under the radar here.
So we can't announce it too loud. We got to keep it down low. You know what I mean?
But absolutely. So Steve, what's going on, man? How are you been?
Okay, so it's fun. It's a good level.
Yeah. I think we're good.
I mean, I don't care about you. I care about the fans. The fans here.
Yeah.
Doing well, guys. Yeah, thanks for inviting me here up to Nanola on a beautiful Thursday evening here.
Yes, sir.
In October.
Yes, sir.
Oh, nuts! I pulled you out here. I'm trying to grab down
there. Well, yeah. If you don't order, if you ever need any work,
now I can.
If you ever need any work from this guy, this guy's amazing.
There we go. Now I got a better mic level.
Yeah. Head over to voiceactorgarage.com for this guy. He's truly amazing. If you need any voiceover work, anything at all, he's truly amazing.
He's truly amazing too.
Yeah, that's right. There we go. That's right. Sorry. My equipment malfunctioned. There you go. How long does it take to tighten this damn thing? All right, there you go.
Where's our producer?
Hold on to your
Oh, wait,
box.
you are.
Yeah, there you go.
Sure.
That's live television right there. You're good.
We got volume?
Yes. All right, now we can hear you, I think. Go ahead, talk.
You hearing me?
Yeah. Go ahead, do it again.
He goes, yeah.
Are you sure?
Oh, there we go.
There
There
you
you
go.
go.
You
hear me now?
That's
Now
really
we
close.
can
You
hear
have
you.
to hold it up to yourself.
Okay.
There we go. All right, well, there we go.
I can do
Stephen
this.
Murray's in the house with us tonight. That's right. He is our voiceover guy, so whenever you guys hear us go live, that's his beautiful
This is the
golden
guy.
pipes. That's right, doing it for us. So what's going on? You are a Giants fan. What do you think of the Giants season so far? I know it's been abysmal, but
Don't
last
get him
week
started.
we had a win.
I mean, the San Francisco Giants are really good this year. And then there's the New York football Giants, New York, New Jersey Giants. Yeah, it's been, you know what? This last week's victory felt like winning like an NFC championship game because the team has been so bad. So I'm just kind of like still floating from the victory against the Saints.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, it's been pretty crappy. Definitely for the first 4 games. I thought our defense would be much better, much improved. I kind of thought our offense would be kind of where it is right now. Last week was definitely a surprise showing on the offensive end, but our defense has been, I think, the biggest letdown for me. The biggest surprise, the negative surprise
Yes.
for me. So.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. But what we have seen, at least last season and the week before, kind of you started to see that defense maybe started to get a little better and change philosophies. It kind of seemed like the first couple of weeks they were playing a lot of zone and staying soft and not really coming up and doing a lot of man-to-man. A little different from what Patrick Graham's defense I thought last year. But now it seems like after this past couple of weeks and then last week it looked really good. But the solid part for them is Daniel Jones. He's looked pretty good and mistake-free.
He's looked exceptional. His passes have been. He definitely seems a lot more comfortable in the pocket. I think that coincides with the better offensive line play because Andrew Thomas is playing like that top 10 pick now. Unfortunately, he does have a foot injury, so we'll see how that plays out on Sunday at the 425 against the Cowboys. But yeah, he's been playing much better at the left side. Solder's been playing okay. Obviously, the left guard rotation of everyone breaking body parts has been tough. The last guy jumped in there. Was it Skura? I think it is. Skura. Yeah. He played solid. I actually watched the tape on him a couple days ago.
Yeah.
And he looked pretty good.
Doing
But
your
our defense has been playing a lot of two deep zone with two safeties back.
Yeah.
And that hasn't really been playing too well, at least to their strengths. I don't think. But I'm not Graham. I'm not defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
And obviously the pass rush has been non-existent.
Right.
Yeah, if you look at the average yards per player away from the quarterback for the Giants, they're almost a full yard farther away than most defensive linemen are to get the quarterback so far for the first 4 games of the year.
Excellent. Yeah, Steve Murray dropping some knowledge on us there, too, as well. And yeah, like you mean the 2-deep man zone. But I think that really the downfall, the heel for them is always putting Jabril Peppers in the box always, and then he's stuck in man coverage, and he gives up big plays all the time here.
Yeah, his it's weird because he's such a superb athlete, but his coverage skills aren't that good. So I like him. It's kind of I do kind of like him as that monster back, that extra linebacker, but that does have him in the box, which you mentioned. But right now he's got a hamstring, so I doubt he's going to play on Sunday. So it'll probably be Julian Love picking up that spot, I assume, or maybe more McKinney. McKinney hasn't played that well either.
Yeah, who knows? We'll see with that. So can you tell us a little more about Knockout City a little bit, or are we going to get in trouble? All right,
I can talk about it. The game is out now.
Yeah.
Knockout City Season 3 just launched on Tuesday, so that is available, guys, for free. The first 25 levels on all the major gaming platforms, so you can check that out. And, it's exciting as the voice of the DJ on the Moon. That character has been really cool. The fandom's been very solid, as we're getting some graphics up there right now.
Yeah. You like that?
You like that?
There you go. That's Knockout City. That's right. It's free right now. The voice, the DJ out there. And it's great, too, because it took a little bit for me to get used to because, I listened to your voice and used to you being on our show all the time.
We're just enamored that your voice is
Yeah, it is. It's pretty cool. And that's what I mean. It's like you go to the menus and there you are. And then I'm like, all right, we'll get through a guide. And you're like, all right, change your item or this and this.
Yeah.
Hit X, Y, to do this. And now I'm doing a tutorial. I'm like, man, Steve, this is great having a friend show me what to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It was funny because the first time I ever played it with was one of our buddies, Cody, and I was like, I'm trying to he's trying to teach me how to play, and I'm like, but I'm listening to Steve. Shut up. I'm listening. Steve, what? What, Steve? What did you say?
Yeah,
Oh, okay, I'll do that.
Yeah, but it's great. A little smaller company, Velen Studios here out of upstate New York, I think, right? Coming up with a nice game right there, and it's picking up very well. You see a lot of streamers jumping right on board with it.
Streamers have been great. Yeah, the game was obviously created by Velen Studios in upstate New York, and it's the distribution is by EA Original. So Electronic Arts, the mega company, has been behind them with the distribution aspect of it. That's been really cool. It's funny because the character I'm in the video game, the voice is very similar to my own, but he's a 1960s DJ. It's a little bit like of the characters of Jocko Henderson and Wolfman Jack combined. That's what they kind of told me when I just for the character.
Yeah.
And so he's just like the coolest guy in the entire universe, baby. So he's so smooth. He's way cooler than I am. So it's a slight variation of my voice. But the funny part is if a stranger or somebody I know a little bit and they ask me about the game and maybe I play a clip with them, they'll go, "Oh, that's not you." And they can't hear the fact it's the same kind of voice. That's kind of odd to me because I'm like, well, I'm not going to lie about it.
Right.
You just click on the credit. I mean, I'd be a super lame out of be like, lying about it. Hey, look at this video game, and I'm not. But the game's been pretty good. The fandom's been amazing.
Yeah.
I did a live Twitch stream a few weeks ago, actually at Velen Studios, so the fans could answer questions, ask me questions.
Okay.
And, yeah, they are definitely into it.
Excellent. That's awesome.
So.
Oh, hell yeah. And the customization is great, too. And even the reward system I really like, too. It doesn't seem like, yes, you're going through your seasons, you're going to have small microtransactions and stuff like that, but I enjoy a lot of the free stuff I get, too, and the upgrades and other stuff, because I don't like to spend money on a lot of that stuff. I'm really cheap when it comes to that. But I really like it, and the customization is cool. I know. Exactly. Exactly. I know. I hear you.
It's funny with the customization aspect because it gives you the options of microtransactions, but they're not necessary to improve yourself as a player.
Exactly.
And through the reward system, if you play long enough, you basically can accrue enough hollow bucks to purchase things that you like throughout the game. So they make it where if you have the extra currency to make the microtransaction, you can do it.
Right.
It won't hinder your gameplay. If you play long enough, you'll be rewarded like that where you can actually purchase stuff or just get free stuff as you keep on upgrading, leveling up.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we're here at Nanola, Malta, New York, and we're here to talk about the tonight's upcoming matchup here. We've got the Los Angeles Rams and the Seattle Seahawks squaring up. The Rams suffered their first loss here. The Seattle Seahawks, where some people are ready to write them off a little bit, came back with a nice win.
They did,
what do you see so far in this game?
Oh, I'm a Giants fan.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're Giants fan.
Who's playing tonight? Just joking.
Yeah.
I know. I see Russell Wilson throwing for under 400 yards. I hate when people they come out like he's going to throw for X amount of yards. I like to take the way he's going to throw for under yards. I'm covering.
I like it.
Oh, I threw for 100 yards. I say he's going to throw for under 400. I don't. I don't. It's going to be an interesting matchup. I didn't actually look at all the injury reports for tonight. So
Chris
a little
Carson
behind.
just got ruled out.
Chris Carson is
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So I don't have a pick on this. I don't even know what the spread is.
Oh, really?
I'm the worst.
Yeah, I don't know, but I'm
straight
terrible with spreads. That's why when we do our pick'ems here, we just go straight up. You're like, they won.
Los
you
Angeles.
won. That's all. So you like the Los Angeles Rams in this one?
Yes.
All right, excellent. So Stephen Murray, that's right. He is the voiceover for our show here.
Sam
Steve,
Bradford.
the
voice of Sam Bradford.
Wait, do you know who the quarterback is for the Rams now? At least, right?
Sam Bradford, right?
No.
Matt Stafford.
Matt Stafford.
Sam Bradford, right?
No, I know you're doing. Unbelievable.
Stafford?
Yeah, that's right. Are you going to be at any? He also does improv and stuff like that too out there too. Are you going to be at any other upcoming live shows?
Sam Bradford.
Are they doing any of that stuff? Why don't you give us a little Morgan Freeman? Why don't you do some of that?
I'd rather give you some Sam Bradford.
Sam Bradford? I know.
Yeah.
Wait, he's
Sam
not saying
Bradford.
much right now.
Matt Stafford, Sam Bradford? I don't know.
Why do you think they're similar in the way
They're
they play?
very similar in name. Matt Stafford, Sam Bradford, Jimmy McPhee. They're all the same. And when Morgan Freeman says it's so, by God, it is so.
Oh, well, thank you for comparing me to Matthew Stafford. Excellent. Thank
Sam
you.
Bradford?
And Sam Bradford, yes. I'm going to say it every time. Now you're going to screw me up. We got Sam Bradford versus.
Now we're going to talk about the Rams.
Russell
He was so
Wilson.
overrated. I now remember, yeah.
Yeah, it was like that whole thing with his injury. He's injury prone, but they went out on a limb to get him anyways. On a limb, boom, and then it just had injury. Couldn't stay healthy. And then he went to another team expecting something else, got another monster deal, and the same thing happened over and over again. But, yeah, so far it should be, I think, a pretty good matchup. I think it might be high scoring. Joe said it could be low scoring. We'll see, though. Overall, I think it's going to be a really great game.
That's the NFL, folks. You never know till it happens.
Right.
Football. Check it out.
That's right. That's Stephen Murray. You got to stick around, hang out. You go have some drinks. Go hang out and, mingle with the crowd out there. We got some more Nanola
That's a nice
over
way to
there
say
too
get
as
off
well.
the set. Appreciate it,
Yeah,
buddy.
get the hell off.
All right. Thanks, fans.
That's right. Knockout
Thanks,
City. You can
Steve.
check them out. EA Originals. Absolutely. It's a pleasure talking to him. A good friend of mine for a very, very long time. But let's get the show rolling here. We got to get to our picks here, Joe.
Yeah, we do.
So it's
Gotta
a
get
pick
to 'em.
segment. All right, let's skip tonight's game. We'll do that last. He said Rams with Sam Bradford here, so he's going with the Rams.
I would never take the Rams with Sam Bradford.
I don't know why. But, all right, here we go. We got the New York Jets and the Atlanta Falcons, Joe. This is the London game. Jolly-o, cheerio. They're in London. It's going to be at 9:30 in the morning, Joe. Like, what the hell, dude?
Woo!
I'm happy when I'm playing.
Yeah, they're happy when they're playing, but
I'll tell you- Can we
in the
can we
morning?
give some kudos to the Jets for last week? Couldn't we a little bit? I mean, Jets won. Finally got a W.
Yeah,
So-
yeah, they did. I was surprised. And what's funny is that all anybody brings up is that one bomb that Zach Wilson threw.
I mean, listen, you got to commend the Jets defense. They came in hungry. They came in determined, and they handled business. I mean, really. I mean, you got to give this team, the New York Jets, their kudos when it's due. So, I mean, listen, Zach Wilson played a good game. The defense played a good game. The offense and all their weapons played a good game. Jamison Crowder made his return, and by God, was like the biggest safety blanket for Zach Wilson. He just tore up the football field. So the Jets, they got to win. Congratulations, New York. It's an amazing feat. And now we're moving on to over the seas.
Yeah, now overseas to play against the Falcons, so nobody's at the
So
home
wait,
field advantage there.
So they don't now that Zach Wilson is taking the torch as a quarterback. This will be the first time he's played overseas. If he gets a win, you could just say that he'll be undefeated until the next time he goes back there.
In London, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Who knows? But I'm always excited to see what fans are showing up, who they're rooting for there. I mean,
that's
the
true.
funny thing about
Yeah,
London is
right.
you'll see people with, like say, the Steelers jerseys out there, and the Steelers aren't even playing.
No,
But
I
mean,
mean,
there's
football.
like, hey, it's American
the
football.
NFL.
Here.
They all go. They love the NFL.
That's right. So, I mean, we got the Jets, the Falcons. Calvin Ridley is not going to be in this game because due
Right.
to
He's
personal
out.
issues, he's going to be out.
Yep.
So I think that's going to be a big factor for this. The Falcons,
Could
they're
be.
kind of they're not very good.
They're hit or miss.
But they're kind of to me, it's very confusing and
Yeah.
hard to gauge where they're at with this team. I can't really tell where they're coming and going. But with Calvin Ridley out, yes, they're going to try and give the ball to Cordarrelle Patterson a lot and try and get to some of their other weapons that they might have. But I don't really see them. Maybe I might go with the Jets here to get their second win here in even turf in London.
I mean, you're going to go to the Jets because this is so close. I'm going to go Atlanta just
All right.
because I don't know what to expect from either one of these teams. I mean, the Jets could very well romp Atlanta this week. They really could, and then and it could go the other way as well. So it's like it's one of these toss-up games where it's like there's not too many not too many too many players on one side on one team versus another team that overwhelms one side or the other. You know what I mean? Like to tilt the scales, so to speak. You know what I mean? So it's like, and the fact that Calvin Ridley is not playing, I feel like this is a bigger deal than Atlanta's letting off, because I understand they got Russell Gage and they got Olamide Zacchaeus, who I feel like is going to have the biggest game. I don't think it's going to be Gage. I feel like Zacchaeus is going to get more opportunity to shine, and he's gonna outplay, I feel like, Gage. And like you were just saying, like they got Mike Davis in the backfield, Cordarrelle Patterson. But now that Ridley's out, it'll be interesting to see if they at times move Cordarrelle Patterson out to that wide receiver position. So all in all, this game is going to be, I feel like it's going to be close early on until teams figure each other out, and then we'll see what happens in the second half. But yeah, I'm going to go Atlanta.
That was really long-winded just to say Atlanta. But sure. Yeah, I mean, anything could happen there. We're not sure. That's the thing about Atlanta.
You're long-winded.
I'm not sure. Never. I'm full of hot air, but never long-winded. I get winded easy. I know that. But anyways, the Green Bay Packers and Cincinnati Bengals. Joe, take it away with this one. Who you got for the Green Bay Packers, Cincinnati Bengals?
I love the addition of Jaylon Smith, for Green Bay to get that guy now. I don't know how quick he can be ready, though. You know that he's going to have to play, at times he's going to be out there. As far as
hearing he's going to suit up and play.
Yeah, but
how much,
as far
like you
as
said,
being full-time, he's got to learn this defense. So I don't know how quickly he can. Maybe he can learn enough of it to be out there in a lot of situations. But I love that addition. Green Bay, Green Bay is starting to figure themselves out. And Aaron Rodgers is starting to play a little bit better. The defense is playing better. But, last week, Jair Alexander goes down with an injury last week. Don't know if he's going to be ready for this week. So they are going to be missing out on him. Cincinnati's kind of like they're another team that's kind of confusing. Just when you see them kind of take they're on the rise, they're getting better, they're competing against everybody every week. It seems like they take a nosedive once in a while. So the Bengals are going to be home. Green Bay's coming in. I'm going to go with Green Bay on this one.
All right, he's going with the Packers here. Again, Cincinnati, they're that team that always snake bites me too. I believe in them, and then they fail me. So then I go against them, and then they'll win. That last particular one was pretty crazy here. So that's why it was tough for me to pick because I want another loss here or what? Because what's going to do it? But they have starting to get that chemistry together. Him, Joe Burrow, and Jamar Chase and getting it.
Just remember, there's no Joe Mixon either this week.
Oh, yeah, that's big for them. But despite all that, too, I think I like the addition of Jaylon Smith as well. And I think just overall right now, I think the Green Bay Packers are a better team than the Cincinnati Bengals. But I could see it definitely being closer than some people would imagine. So I'm going to go with the Green Bay Packers. Next, we've got the Detroit Lions and the Minnesota Vikings. And, again, this is another team that I keep buying in on. The Lions, it looked like they were so close to so many wins. And that's why I was like, out of any team that's going to get their first win out of the 0-3 teams, it's going to be the Lions. And now they're the only ones that still don't have a win. They're like, God damn it. It's like freaking.
We figured that we both pegged them last week to get their win. You know what I mean?
I know. And it's like they do this to me. I just don't know why. They look completely different. A big shambles, can't get anything done right. But now they've got to go into Minnesota, who I think really right now is hungry for a win. That was a kind of a debacle the way they played last week. I think they're going to bounce back this week, and against the Detroit Lions, I think the Minnesota Vikings can take it this week at home.
Yeah, I mean, as far as last week goes with the Vikings, they just played a really good team, and that's why it was like close the whole way. It was low scoring the whole way. It was actually a really great game to watch as a football fan. But for Minnesota, I mean, this is kind of a game that you got to win. This is a must-win right now. I know it's early in the season, but Minnesota needs to get back on track. Detroit Lions. As much as I do like how they just come out to play every single week, they give it their all. With Dan Campbell as their head coach, he doesn't let them kind of give up on anything. So they're going to come out, they're going to play hard. Their defense, I was actually surprised on how well they've managed so far this season, on how well they've played, and their offense kind of keeps them in the games. But this week, with Minnesota at home, I'm going to go Vikings on this one. Kirk Cousins and this team needs a win. I feel like they're just going to edge him out.
All right, he's going Vikings on this one. All right, the Denver Broncos now and the Pittsburgh Steelers. I talked about this game a little bit earlier with some people here. This could be a really interesting one, too. I mean,
it's
yes,
definitely going to be interesting.
You have Drew Lock in there now for the injured Teddy Bridgewater.
Right.
But still, the way Denver's defense has been playing, though, is pretty well.
Still no Jerry Jeudy.
Right.
He's still been out.
Yeah, absolutely.
So they do have some banged up players also. Melvin Gordon is also banged up as of last week. He played, but he played hurt. And I wonder if that's going to affect him coming into this week, if he's going to play or not.
Mm-hmm. Well, take it away. What do you have in this one?
And then Denver defensively, they're still a good defense, but they're missing some players. Like I don't know if their starting corner is still out, and also Bradley Chubb, he's done for the year. It seems like, or at least 6 to 8 weeks. So going into Pittsburgh, they got to travel to Pittsburgh. They're going to play against that rough and tough crowd there. Steelers, they're another team that needs to find a way. They need to find a way to get a win. Big Ben, there's a ton of criticism against Big Ben right now, how well or how terrible he's playing. The offensive line isn't that great. They have weapons. They love to run Najee Harris. He's as a rookie, he's making a huge impact. And their defense has got to get healthier. But I feel like their defense and with Najee Harris's run game, I feel like the Steelers are going to run away with this one.
All right. Oh, I like what you did there. A little play on words there. Running with Najee Harris.
Thanks,
Run
buddy.
away with this one.
I
That's
appreciate
good.
that.
I picked up on that one.
Thanks, buddy.
There we go. All right, so
All right, next game we got Miami Dolphins at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Well, that's fine. We don't need to do my pick either. But I was going to pick the Steelers too. Either way, but that's fine. I didn't get a chance to say it.
I didn't know if you were going to run with it or not.
Well, you jumped on it, so I was like, I'll let you go with that. But I mean, I think we pretty much had the same kind of feelings on that one. Even though the Steelers haven't looked so good either, and Big Ben, people are begging for him to retire like right now, even despite they don't know what they're doing at the quarterback situation.
Right, you're right about that. They can't. How can you move on from Big Ben right now if you don't have an answer?
Mm-hmm.
They didn't even draft a quarterback. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's much where the rumors are Cam Newton again. That's the answer. I don't think that's the answer.
But okay, it could work for the Steelers if they change their offense. You know what I mean? Because if you have Najee Harris, who's a bull of a runner, a bull in a china closet, like I could say, and you put Cam Newton with him on running options, RPOs and stuff, that could be dangerous. But again, if you're bringing in Cam, you got to be willing to convert and change over some of that offense.
All right, so there we go. Now we can move on, Joe, to the Miami Dolphins and Tampa Bay
I'm sorry,
Buccaneers.
buddy.
No, go ahead.
sorry.
No, that's fine. Whatever. We're good.
All right, go ahead. You take it this time.
All right, Miami Dolphins, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Again, I started to see maybe the quarterback just get a little better again, but then not so much again. Last week they got really embarrassed. It was terrible. But the Bucs, I think, again, yes, we said that they're not that superpower type of high-power team that's going to go out and just freaking destroy you. But
their defense ain't strong for sure.
Coming off of a tight, close win against the Patriots, I think they're going to be ready and prepared more so that even take on the Miami Dolphins. Even though Brian Flores, former Patriot, coach and things like that, defensive coordinator, I think they'll still be able to handle this. They're at home. I like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers, listen, Tom Brady's not going to let his players kind of like overlook the fact that they beat a very emotional game for Brady and a very emotional game for the players that were playing for Brady. He's not going to let them overlook the fact like, hey, we still got more games to play. We need to dial in, get refocused, and come into this game, and don't overlook the Miami Dolphins. You know what I mean? Because a lot of teams, when they do that, they're like, it's only the Dolphins. We should be able to take care of them. That's when things might go awry in that game, and you might end up coming out with an L. But Tampa Bay and Tom Brady, they're going to stay focused. They're going to come in, or Miami, I should say, is going to come over to Tampa Bay and be ready for a rude awakening, because Brady is going to try to put as many points on you as possible. But I'm going to go with the Buccaneers, who I feel, even though they have injuries on defense, I feel like Miami with Jacoby Brissett and with the Miami Dolphins and they're still missing out on Tua, I feel like they're going to come in and Tampa Bay is going to get the win.
All right, we got the New Orleans Saints and the Washington football team. Another
How do you figure this one?
Again, these teams do enough that you're not sure what you're going to get. Washington football team, they have underwhelmingly played here on defense. We know that. That's a fact for one. They had Taylor Heineke. Yes, it was a great story. The Giants should have probably won the game that they played. And now they're facing another NFC East team. But what are we going to get, with the Washington football team and the New Orleans Saints here, to where they just lost to the Giants, but they have beaten other, really fairly good teams. They destroyed the Green Bay Packers week 1.
Right.
And like we've seen, much like when Jameis Winston was a starter back with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you got Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde with this whole deal. 1 week he's good, next week he's not. We did flip-flop. We had joked about it last week, but it ended up coming true. And I still didn't pick the Giants, but I guess I'm a fool for it there. But this week, is he the Dr. Jekyll then? Or is he Mr. Hyde? We're not sure. I'm not which one is the bad guy. Which one is the bad guy? Either way, I think he's going to play better. Washington football team, even though they're at home, it's still Taylor Heineke again. And yes, he has a lot of great weapons here. But I don't know if it's enough here for these New Orleans Saints. I'm sure they can't get even worse here. I think they're going to do what it takes to get better with this team. I don't see them really being a bad team. I like the New Orleans Saints in this one.
And here's the thing, too, about Washington. I'm baffled. I am just absolutely baffled on this Washington defense. Why? I mean, they have the same personnel, and they even upgraded this offseason, and they're playing like shit. Let's just say what it is. They're just not coming to play every week. I don't know what it is. Did they change something in the scheme of this offseason? Did they just change the way they use their personnel? I don't know what it is, and I can't figure it out. but they just absolutely looking like crap. So Washington's defense is going to continue to struggle until they show something different. And with Taylor Heineke now as the quarterback, you've seen him make some plays, but then he makes a mistake. And then he makes another good play and he makes a mistake, which is going to happen with a young quarterback anyway. But they like the potential of this kid. They like what he could possibly develop into. Maybe he could develop into a starter, maybe not. But then again, he's still kind of like going at a whim every single week against teams. New Orleans Saints, just like you said, Jameis Winston so far this season has been up and down. Don't know really how to figure out this offense. And Taysom Hill started to make some plays last week too. So look for that to continue because I feel like that's going to keep defenses on their heels. And it's also turning out to creating more points for the offense. So giving some help to the Saints defense and keeping them rested, keeping them off the field. I feel like they're going to continue to do so this week. I got the Saints.
Including even the injury to Logan Thomas on the other side too as well. I mean, that's a factor, I think, for this team a little bit too. All right, so you're going to go New Orleans as well, right? All right,
yes,
now
sir.
Philadelphia Eagles and Carolina Panthers, Joe. You're high on the Carolina Panthers train. They ended up losing last week in a close one. But
Man. Yeah.
What do you think now? The Philadelphia, we heard a lot of talk. Everybody's high on them those first couple of weeks. But again, who did they beat? They beat the Atlanta Falcons.
Right. I mean, they didn't really beat anybody strong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, to me, that doesn't show enough. And listen, maybe they could develop into a contending type of team or at least a super competitive team every given week with the kind of like almost like it's almost like playground offensive plays sometimes with Jalen Hurts and company. When something's not working, they just go to his legs, and then he just kind of makes something happen, and he creates time and just to find someone open. But there's not a true identity for this Eagles offense. There's not a true identity for this team. I thought the Eagles also were going to be one of those big-time go-getters on Jaylon Smith because their lack of linebacking core I thought would have been brilliant, but they still didn't do so. But, yeah, as far as the Eagles go, and Miles Sanders is truly disappointing this year. He hasn't done anything. I thought that he would be more involved in the receiving game out of the backfield, and it just doesn't seem like it's amounting up. So, along with as good as the Eagles can be, I just don't think they're there yet. They still need to further develop. They still need some better players. And for Carolina, it's going to be in Carolina. And I've been high on these guys all the time. So since before even the season even started, I'm still going to ride with them this week. I think that, they suffered a loss last week. They're going to come back stronger this week. Maybe they get Gilmore in there. Or no, he's going to be injured, so he's still going to be out.
Yep.
But I still love the Carolina defense and how youthful and how fast they play. Shaq Thompson has been lighting it up against competition at linebacker. And with Sam Darnold at the helm, I got all the confidence in the world. I'm going Carolina.
All right, I'm going to agree with you there, too, as well. I'm not really sold on Philadelphia either. Excuse me, I like what Jalen Hurts is able to do, though, with his legs and stuff, but I don't think it's just enough for that team. All right, Tennessee Titans. They got embarrassed last week. I didn't really see that happening, and what the hell was that? What was that? But maybe again, that defense. That defense.
Okay.
Terrible.
Okay. So for Tennessee Titans, they didn't have either A.J. Brown or Julio Jones at all.
Yeah.
So that's a huge loss.
Yeah. I mean, so it's funny. I think maybe people underestimate the Jets on that point to where you're like, they don't have them, but maybe they would be okay because it's the Jets.
But that's the problem, is that they became one-dimensional before the game even started. When you're missing your number one and number two receiver, and Josh Reynolds went off in that game because he had to, right? Like, he was the third receiver. He's expected to step up, and he did. But it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough to scare the Jets. So, especially defensively. They just honed in on Derrick Henry. They did for most of the game. Yeah, Derrick Henry still had his runs here and there, but they kept him to be one-dimensional. They couldn't connect that much with any other receiver but Reynolds, and it hurt that offense. And then, listen, Zach Wilson and the Jets offense, they had a great game plan going up against the Titans D, and they executed. So, I mean, that's why they ended up coming out with a W. And this week, I know we're picking right now on Wednesday, so we don't really get – or Thursday, I should say. Yeah. I know we don't get the final injury reports until Saturday, but – if Julio Jones and A.J. Brown have to miss any more time, that's going to be critical for this Titans team going forward. They're going into Jacksonville. Listen, I liked what I saw from Jacksonville last week. I'm going to be honest. They kind of not impressed me, but they showed something. They showed some life, basically.
Yeah.
And Trevor Lawrence seems like maybe he's starting to figure it out. You know what I mean? Maybe he's starting to get more comfortable with the offense and everything, despite the debacle that is the coaching staff. I mean, Urban Meyer and some of his antics off the field and as a head coach and his decision-making, I don't know what's going on with that circus. But Tennessee, I'm going to go with Tennessee despite the uncertainty of receivers playing. I feel like they're the team that's a little bit more solid than Jacksonville, and they got to still figure some things out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm going to agree with you there too as well. Tennessee, just again, Jacksonville, I think they're turning it around. But depending even too on if these receivers start or not.
I won't be surprised if they come away with a win either. Like,
yeah, exactly.
It's one of those games.
You know, they've got it. You know, they're getting better. One of these days, they're going to get it. You know what I mean? Because it seemed like they might even last week, but then just in the closing minutes of the game, couldn't get it done. And no fault to them. I mean, they played a really hard game. It's sad they couldn't get it done, but you know. They're growing. They're going to get better.
Right.
All right, here we go. So New England Patriots and the Houston Texans. Except for even last week. But they were really playing hard even, and Davis Mills been really trying to step up and do some things for his team. But it's tough. He's like a tackler. It reminds me of David Carr, you know, back when he was there. That's what it looks reminiscent of.
It does.
Early
it looks
days.
like David Carr 2.0.
Yeah, it does. All right, so and they're there at home, but it's not going to matter. I think New England, they're really finding their own too. Mac Jones getting really comfortable. You can see he's poised, ready to strike when he needs to, making the plays that need to be done. He made a couple bonehead mistakes last week against the Tampa Bay Bucs. Luckily, the Bucs weren't able to capitalize on some of those, but he's still a rookie, and he's going to get it done. But I think they have the personnel and everything to get it done here against the Texans. I like the Patriots.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Mac Jones had a great game last week against Buccaneers and a really good team, actually, despite – you know, some of the holes in Tampa Bay's defense. I felt like I saw something from Mac Jones. Like, you see the development occurring week to week with him, and with the roster that he has around him, they could turn the corner very quickly. Maybe not this year, contending for the division so much, but definitely next year. It looks like they're trending upwards as they go. So as they get better and better every single week. They look really good. Houston does not look really good. And another thing is, like, no one still knows. Has anybody ever seen Deshaun Watson? Maybe he should be on the milk carton missing player of the week because I haven't heard anything about his court case.
That is true.
I haven't heard anything about, what his thoughts are. Did he change his mind? Maybe he'll come back to Houston or is he just dead set on getting out of there? If I was him, I would get out of there.
Yeah, right. Well, what do you got here?
But I'm going to go with the Patriots on this.
All right, here we go. Chicago Bears and the Las Vegas Raiders. Now we're hearing again the Justin Fields.
Justin Fields has now won the job.
Won the job.
He's now won the job.
They're rolling with him. They committed to longer than just this week. They said
he
got
won
the job
It's
moving
his.
forward.
Yes,
There
absolutely. And this
it's
is
finally
something
over
on the show we've been saying over and over and over to Matt Nagy. What are you doing in the beginning of the season?
Some people have too.
Justin Fields, you see how much better of a player he is at this point. He's only going to get better going forward. Got to start him. And he just fails to do so week to week to week until now. Now, finally, we're going to see what this Chicago offense could develop into because the more he gets to play, the more experience he gets, he's going to develop that chemistry, and everything's going to fall into place. So,
all right, then we got the Las Vegas Raiders here. Again, just broke their undefeated streak here so far, but again, they played really well against a really good team. That Chargers team is not, somebody to be fussed about too. They've really getting it going. Justin Herbert is a beast out there as well, but that defense and Derwin James has been playing lights out again. Andy's staying healthy for once here so far. Knock on wood. I don't have wood. Plastic is that good enough?
That's not good.
All right, but again, making some big plays for them. But I don't think all is lost here. I don't think everything's going to crumble here for the Las Vegas Raiders here. I think Chicago, this is when they might talk about Khalil Mack gets to go back and play against the Raiders again. Here we go.
Here's the funny thing is the injury report as of today doesn't have Akeem Hicks practicing at all this week. Doesn't have Khalil Mack practicing at all this week. I don't know if they're resting them.
They're resting them.
I don't know if they're really
injured. That would
injured.
be bad if they.
I don't know what's going on with that injury report, but if these guys if some of those guys have to miss this game, could heavily go in favor for the Raiders.
Absolutely. So either way, though, I think I like what the Raiders have been doing still over, and I think Chicago's still like a growing team. I'm going to go with the Raiders on this one.
Yeah, the one main concern I have for the Raiders going into this week is how healthy can you get?
Exactly.
How healthy can you get? Because, you're You're still missing both your starting guards. Your linebackers, hopefully they would be due back today, but we'll still wait and see. And then their cornerbacks. Who's going to play corner for them? That's what I want to know. Because Trayvon Mullen is on the injury report. I don't even think he practiced. And Damon Arnett got injured as well. And Casey Hayward is still there, which is a breath of fresh air. Thank God he's still healthy. But we'll see what they end up with. But, I mean, with Vegas being home, Chicago coming in there, I don't like with Chicago's offense and Fields, I have to really kind of watch him all game. I haven't had a chance to really kind of get a sense of where he sits. But because he's still the new type of quarterback, still a rookie, this is going to be his second start. I'm going to go with the Vegas Raiders as well.
All right. Yeah, now moving on to the Cleveland Browns and the Los Angeles Chargers. Chargers are coming off a big win. You get to be at home again, back-to-back here. Yeah. And the Cleveland Browns, though, Baker Mayfield has that shoulder on the opposite throwing shoulder.
He has a torn labrum. Yeah. But it's got to, it's not his throwing shoulder because there's no way he could throw a ball then.
Right.
But how much can he pain manage? That's the thing is like, his offensive line is playing extremely well, but how often can they keep him to not get touched? You know what I mean? Like, if he can not get touched throughout this matchup, I feel like that he'll be fine. He'll last the whole game. But if he starts to get hit, banged, even pushed down, you know what I mean, falling on that shoulder or something like that, maybe he leaves the game early, and then what are you going to do at quarterback?
I think this is going to be a close game here. Again, there's a lot of talent on both sides of the ball. The defense of Cleveland looks really good, too, as well. They have a really great running back situation, too, than the Chargers. Who do you got on this one, Joe? What do you think?
I'm rooting for the Browns, but I'm going to pick the home team in the Chargers because, listen, they've so far have done such a miraculous job offensively, tricking defenses and manipulating them to do what they want. So, I mean, the Chargers offense, they're very well coached, and they just seem to be executing every single week. Chargers defense, watch out for Joey Bosa, man. He's going to be coming after, and this is what I'm talking about. If Bosa is going to get to a guy like Baker Mayfield, even to shove him around, maybe they take him out of the game early. So, I don't like that injury. That kind of scares me in this game, so I'm going to go with the Chargers.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a real close one, too. I was leaning towards the Chargers, too, as well. I think I'm just going to roll with that one as well. All right, now the New York Giants and the Dallas Cowboys, Joe.
How do you figure this
matchups. Again, I'm just going to go. I'm going to make it pretty easy. I mean, we talked about the Cowboys and how they've been playing. I think they've been pretty opportunistic at points, but I think, again, their defense has played better than they were really dated to be. Trayvon Diggs looks really nice, too, at the corner, but he's been opportunistic with some of those picks that he's had, too. But it's a real nice story. And that offense, with all those weapons that you have, there's no shit that they're going to be doing some things. You know what I mean? When this guy's covered, you got this guy to
100%.
go. When this guy's covered, you got that guy covered. When Zeke gets stuffed, you got Tony Pollard. Boom, boom,
exactly.
boom, boom. Your one main thing is Dak's got to stay healthy, which is good. How's that foot look? Which it looks pretty good so far. And basically that's it. You know what I'm saying? And that offensive line needs to stay healthy. So when you look at the Giants, again, they were like, are they just getting a slow start? Now they're starting to hit their stride. Yeah. I think they can go toe-to-toe with the Cowboys.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I think they can win this game. But, again, until I see more consistency, I'm going to ride with the other team. I'm going to go with the Dallas Cowboys.
And the one thing I was surprised about the Giants last week was even without Blake Martinez.
Yep.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Even without Blake Martinez, they still played a pretty darn good defense. You know, they were able to hold up to the point of attack, and they executed, and they played extremely well, I thought. So that's no longer a scare for me. But going into this game, this is an interdivision. This is a rival. They know each other so well. And just like Jim was just mentioning, the Dallas offense, like, they don't really have a weakness. You know what I mean? Unless you can get to Dak and pressure him, they're going to do what they want there as well. Defensively, you start to see the Cowboys' defense getting better every week. And Micah Parsons, man, I think he's going to have another big-time game and against a division rival. So I'm going to go with the Cowboys on this.
All right, here we go. Joe's longboard here with this. San Francisco 49ers and the Arizona Cardinals. Cardinals still the only undefeated team. Will they go down this week? You've got the 49ers, who Jimmy G goes down early in that game, and Trey Lance comes in. But still not enough to get it done to get a win there.
Right.
And so it kind of threw me off with my pick last week. But I think this is going to be a tough divisional game again as well. But I like the the Cardinals. They're just unstoppable right now because not only is their offense elusive with the weapons that they have too, but that defense is still pretty deadly.
Defense is so much better this year. You know what I mean? And they're really starting to hammer down on opposing quarterbacks. When you got like J.J. Watt, who so far is staying healthy, and you got Chandler Jones on the other side, I mean, good luck trying to block everybody because they're just coming right up your alley.
Yeah.
But Arizona Cardinals, man, we both have been high on this team from the jump. We both have them pegged as winning this division, and I'm going to still rock with Arizona. The Niners, I feel like now listen, the Niners have a new element this week. Trey Lance is now starting. Jimmy G is not going to play at all. So I wonder how they're going to manipulate this game offensively. Kyle Shanahan, what he's going to come up with, is he going to come up with more run plays, RPOs, that type of thing for him to get him comfortable? So that's going to be in itself something to watch. But, I'm going with the Cardinals.
All right, next up we've got the Sunday night game. We've got the the Buffalo Bills going into the Kingdom to face the Chiefs.
Game.
But the Chiefs, again, have not looked so good this season as well. You see Patrick Mahomes
this is a
getting
really good game.
flustered out of the outside. So I think it is. It's going to be a really, really good game here, Joe. It's going to be really tight. And the Buffalo Bills have really, in the past 2 weeks, been stomping people. They've been running around and just trouncing people and just flexing their muscles, what they've got. And I don't know. I think this could be a little bit of a wake-up call for them too, because they've had that success here. But then when they face a team that pretty is equal on offense here, but the defense could be the situation here. The Buffalo Bills defense is better than the Kansas City Chiefs. But going into Kingdom, it's going to be tough. Who do you got in this match?
We've seen it happen before, and it possibly could happen again. You know, the Chiefs have been kind of disappointing. They really haven't shown anything defensively, and we've seen them struggle. And it probably could be because they're moving some pieces around that they shouldn't touch. Chris Jones is now the defensive end.
Yeah.
What? Are you kidding me? And it's like you got some of these young linebackers that they have, put into place, and maybe that's not the recipe for success. Maybe Steve Spurrier or whatever Spagnuolo needs to address that and put it back the way you had it last year. Try not to change too much. And so the Buffalo Bills, listen, they got a great defense, they got a great offense, and they're going into Kansas City. We've seen Kansas City so far early this season already get beat in Kansas City. And I'm gonna ride with Buffalo. I think Buffalo goes in there. I don't think it's gonna be a blowout either way. I feel like this is gonna be kind of match. They're gonna match point to point type of thing until the ends, and then somebody's gonna come away with it. I got the Bills in this one.
All right, Joe's got the Bills. I'm gonna go with the Chiefs on this one again because I've seen the Bills start to really fight and get close with these guys. I'm waiting for them to get over the echelon. I think
this is a rematch.
Nice. This could be it. This is the third
playoff
time
rematch.
they played them. Yes. So this could be it here, but I'm going to ride with the Chiefs here at home. The Indianapolis Colts and Baltimore Ravens here for Monday Night Football here, Joe. The Colts, again, Carson Wentz again is injured again, dude. He's just like, what the hell? He can't just stop. He keeps going.
Yeah, he's done. He's done.
This is what the Colts wanted. You know what I mean? It's consistently just not there.
Yeah.
Not playing well for them. They've got multiple injuries, too, across the board for other players they have. And the Baltimore Ravens, again, I think are going to play pretty well in this one, too. They're at home. I like the Baltimore Ravens in this one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised the Colts won last week. I
know. I
believe
really
it.
am.
I had them pegged to lose. I was like, wow, I didn't really give them much of a chance.
Yeah.
But hey, they proved us wrong, and that's why they play the games. Everybody.
Yeah.
That's why they play the games. This week is Monday Night Football. Listen, both teams are going to come to play, but in the end, I feel like as long as Lamar Jackson can maintain being healthy, because he has been banged up the past couple of weeks, he's a difference maker. So I'm gonna stick with Baltimore in this one at home. They're tough to be at home. Baltimore all the way.
All right, so now we're going to jump back forward to tonight's game here. It's about to start in about 20 minutes. We're about to wrap this show up. Thank you for everybody out there in Nanola. Everybody's just chilling out. You guys can probably hear the noise of everybody out here.
Thanks to staff.
Great.
The staff's been incredible. The drinks are on point, and the food's amazing.
Absolutely. All right, so we've got the Rams and the Seattle Seahawks tonight, Joe. Who do you got in this one? What is it? What's the show?
Real quick, I'm going to go with the Rams. I mean, I like the Rams overall versus the Seattle Seahawks. I know it's in Seattle. I know it's tough to beat them in Seattle. But I feel, and this is going to be a close game. I feel like I don't think it's going to be that kind of like barn burner type of thing where highest point total wins. The Rams, I like their defense going up against Seattle's offense, and vice versa. I just feel like the Rams have the edge when it comes to their offense versus the Seattle Seahawks defense, and I think that's where the difference is going to be made. I'm going the Rams.
Right, I'm going to agree with you there, too. Again, the defense is better. Not having Chris Carson is going to be a factor, too, as well. And like you said, the yards given up, 444 yards. Now you're going against Matthew Stafford, again, who has been torching some people on some of these deep balls. I could see that happening, too, on All Day and some of these other guys. So I like the Los Angeles Rams, too, as well. So that's it for us tonight. Here live from Nanola. We had a lot of stuff going on, jam-packed out there. It's been a pleasure serving everybody out here tonight. We're gonna chill out and watch the game with everybody and hang out around.
You're gonna show the one last time the crowd came.
The crowd cam. Well,
it's filled up a little bit more now.
It's filled up a little bit more. I'll show the crowd cam. I got it positioned in a strange area because there's these tables are here empty, but all around us over here, and then at the bar is stacked over there. So everybody's chilling at the bar, not really sitting around, and maybe they don't want to be close to us. Maybe they're nervous. Maybe I smell bad. Not sure. But thank you so much, everybody who listens to us and subscribes on the podcast to Apple and Spotify, all that, Google. Thank you so much for that. Like always, Joe, you can check us out here Facebook at Football on the No Show.
Facebook and YouTube.
Join our group, Football on the No Show group, and on YouTube, Football on the No Show as well, and on Twitter, FB_No. That's it for us.
And anywhere you can get your podcasts, go ahead and hit a follow.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, and we'll see you guys next week.
Join us next week from 8 till 10 Wednesday night for more Football on the No with Jim and Joe.